Hello everybody, welcome to Casual Cactus once again, and to our weekly sessions of the Glassbreakers Guild. We are short one player tonight, unfortunately. Miss Nat is feeling a little under the weather, and so she is going to be missing this evening. Hopefully we'll have her back next week. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This is our weekly D&D sessions, friends and family. We gather together, we have fun, we kill things, we go on adventures. And we're in the middle right now of the official Wizards of the Coast adventure, Tomb of Annihilation. If you need to get caught up, we do have all of our episodes backlogged on YouTube. So you can go check the entire series from the beginning. We are at episode 25 now, so after this one, I promise this week sometime, we'll get a recap up and let you guys sort of catch up.
How many times have we heard that?
Yes, I know I've said that quite a bit, but I mean it this time.
5 episodes later.
You said that last time.
Yeah, because you didn't mean it
Yeah.
last time.
I'm bad. I'm terrible.
It's okay.
You have a life.
Okay, so we are going to jump right in. I feel like I'm missing something. I'll catch it on the back end because I know you guys are here for the game and not me yammering my gums. So
Isn't
Yep.
That the game?
Yeah.
That's also the game.
Well, that is the game.
It's fun
But-
watching you attempt to ramble for 10 minutes of intro
Yeah.
before we start.
Yeah.
Trying to remember everything.
Most
Elias.
of the time.
Recap.
Elias does.
Oh, yes.
Terribly.
Recap. Let us go ahead and do a quick recap of the last session. Someone who was here. Anybody want to
Not
jump
me.
in? No.
It's not here, so.
Must be Lance.
Since you called it a random number generator.
Hold on a second. I have to. Oh, it's too late.
What? You don't trust me?
No.
It's good, can do it again.
Let's see. Last episode we started with Clara getting lances through her chest. I believe
Was that
that's
the
where.
beginning of last
Yeah, that was the beginning of last time.
No, they fell from the sky and
Right, okay.
Yeah.
landed.
The whole party was trying to figure out what had happened. So we decided to wake everyone early and head out. Let's see. We were figuring out how to cross the river when we took out some spies and almost killed Gideon's
Katarina?
sister, Katarina. We finally crossed the river. A couple of talks were done, conversations were done, and then we finally arrived at the city of Omu, which was described to us that I cannot remember what was described, but
You saw it differently. Than
I
we
saw
did.
it differently, yes.
It was a glorious city all in ruins.
Yep.
Yes.
We just saw the ruins part.
Yes.
Yeah. You guys
I
just-
saw it in all its glory.
Well, shortly after his glory.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty fair. I think the only point I would have brought out that you missed was that you guys crossed the river by way of Octopus.
Ah,
but,
yes,
you know,
that's right. I
that's-
forgot how we
that's
crossed.
just me. That's just me.
Yeah.
So yes, you guys have emerged from the jungle. You're on the banks of the river as it cascades over a cliff into the basin of the city of Omo. I have handouts.
Oh,
There are paper maps for you guys.
Handouts?
That will reflect kind of what you guys are seeing on the screen at home, or at least the northern part of it, because you guys are at
I guess I'll
the
keep one of those.
at the
Or we can share one.
waterfall
I wanna
in the upper northeast portion of that.
get a red pen out.
So we would have beaten the army here, most likely, yes?
With my Elijah. If my
Oh, right.
math is correct.
Do you do geometry? Or do you do geography?
What is
the
it,
other?
geology?
It's hard to say. Looking out over the basin, obviously what you're seeing is quite a wide. Looks like mostly almost a sinkhole that the city is either built in or has subsided within. You're not seeing the army itself.
That's a good sign.
And the only other way down into the city, besides where you're standing in the waterfall, is down in the southwest portion. Looks like there are steps carved into the cliff side, broad steps down into the cliff sides. It's not. It doesn't appear on the screen, but.
We are on the south side of the river, yes?
You guys are actually on the north side of the river.
Okay, so north.
So you're on the left bank or the right bank. That would be
So
the right.
we crossed the river.
You crossed the river, yes.
Right, yeah, we
So
crossed
you
the
crossed
Let me
the river
rephrase
that
this.
side.
So, are
To the
we on
east.
the east side of the river at the waterfall in the top of the map? Are we on the east or the west side of it?
You are on the west side of it.
Okay,
Okay.
so we're on the other one.
Oh yeah, West Bank.
So over.
So we crossed
Yeah.
the river a second time. Or did
No,
we
you
start?
only crossed it the once.
This is not the same river we
This
came
is
in on.
not the same
Oh,
river.
okay.
This is not the same river.
As we gaze upon the city.
Obviously, we gotta go towards the lava.
So I just said to Brayden, I was like, so we're either gonna have to go to the thing in the middle of the big circle,
Yeah.
the amphitheater, or the thing in the middle of the lava. One of the three is where we're supposed to go.
I'm gonna guess probably the
all of
lava.
Lava.
Let's
Lava
decide.
sounds
Bunker in the
great.
southwest corner.
Yeah, first we should probably decide where our entry point is going to be.
Why not right here?
What time of day is it, Keith?
You guys, I believe, had gotten there about midday.
Yeah.
I actually think maybe we should.
Go down the waterfall?
Well, maybe we should just chill up here for right now, and we'll watch the city for a little bit and see.
Kind of see what's going on.
Yeah, like are there patrols? Are people wandering around? Do we not see anyone? Like,
What is that
what's going on?
army of undead?
Last time we shot, it was north of us.
on the other side of the river, they'll probably come in through the south stairs. I would
There is
imagine.
another point. Come first thing in the morning, provided we are still watching and not in the basin, we will be silhouetted by the sun, the rising sun in the morning.
Oh, not if we stay low to the ground. Use the vegetation as cover.
If we stay back from the cliff's edge, of course. But the moment we move to enter the basin, we will be highlighted by the sun in the morning.
Yeah.
Good points all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm short, so this doesn't really apply to me.
You are also green,
Not
so perhaps
necessarily.
we'll blend in with the environment.
Oh, natural camouflage.
I fold up my
Whoever
clothes
would
and
have to
just.
yes, take off your clothes.
Technically, that would not be necessarily. Sploof's probably the most useful one in this situation.
But to get down, yes.
Yes.
Yes, I
Just
do.
feather falling us down to the valley.
However, it is perhaps wise to maintain a vantage point so that we get a good night's sleep. But the tower might be...
If we make the tower, we'll have to make it back way further from the cliff.
Indeed.
Yes. We don't want to be at a house in the rising sun.
Because you're the bard.
Well done, my friend. Well done.
He finally shed something funny.
He says funny things all the time, like, I'm a good guy!
Right here would be a good entry point. Off to the side. That wall would give us natural cover to anyone inside the wall.
I would say just follow the...
So this,
Yeah.
like the
But-
inside the circle.
Show-
East of the circle.
East
So
of-
go to the circle.
Best place to.
No, the circle.
I'm just
And
saying,
east,
like, the best place to
come down the
enter
cliff
is,
there.
Like here on
So
the
come-
east
oh, okay,
side
that
of
would
the
make
wall. That way, when we get down, from
Go
what
to
I
the
can
circle.
tell,
Go immediately east.
right there would be an entry
Well,
point
how-
because the heat. We've got the wall that would give us natural cover.
So the wall is at least as tall as the buildings. Is that correct?
Yes.
The sinkhole is about 50 feet deep, so the cliffs are about 50 feet tall.
Okay. The wall around the circle part of the city, is that as tall as the buildings because it is above the water, or is it not as tall as the buildings?
Or taller than the building.
Appears to be.
If it's taller than the buildings, we can't see inside. So that's a problem.
Yes.
Let me
Yes, but
consult my
that's
notes here.
the more advantage it would be would give us cover
Yes.
to wander around and
And cover against
investigate.
an invading army that we happen to know is coming.
Clara breaks out her abacus and begins to do math and trigonometry to figure out
Yeah.
exactly how tall the wall is.
If I can see the shadow, judging by the time of
That
day,
is
the average
true.
So that's that's
So yeah,
that wall is 15 feet tall.
One right there.
15 feet tall.
15.
15.
1-5.
That is scalable.
Does anyone have a blue pen?
Oh, what?
A blue pen.
I do.
May I borrow it?
Yes,
real
you
quick?
may.
Open. Is there a break in the wall of the circle on the west side?
On the
Or
west
is it
side,
solid
There's a
circle
couple
there?
in
It's
there.
hard to tell.
Like-
West side, it looks like
might
it.
be
I think it's probably a solid. It's solid.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a
So there's
solid
only
wall.
breaks on the south and the north.
Yeah.
The north is in the water.
Yes.
Okay.
You know what we really crappy?
DM, if you would be so
There was
gracious
an
as to
apple
mark
in the
where I
water.
saw the black circle in there.
That's what I
Started
would
in
do
the
as
center
DM.
and expanded out.
Would you?
I don't know what I don't know what
the center of the city is.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't even know where it is.
So I'm just trying to
Here we go.
Trying
Now
to
I'm gonna
decide
sort it
where to place this.
This should be a bridge there, but
Your thing is frozen.
out. Yeah, but I just pay attention to chat, so
That's
it's
fair.
fine. Like, I can see us.
Also, one thing we need is reconnaissance. We don't know where we're supposed to be going. As in, where.
Where the curse is
It
emanating
just says
from.
be
Yeah.
part of the city, so
let's split it up.
I think that is a terrible idea.
Let's go one by one through the city on our own and search it.
Don't
This
you know the
could
first
only
rule of
end-
partydom?
This
There you
could
go.
only end well.
Split it up, guy.
No, never Scooby-Doo the party.
Scooby-Doo.
who is this Scooby and why does he do?
It's one of those
It's an obscure
shadow
one.
puppet things.
Puppets theater.
You know, like the Tarzan one from last week?
Ah, yes, the Tarzan one from last week.
Who
So
is
what's
going
everyone
to-
thinking?
So what's going on, guys?
Alright,
What's
so
Oh!
the plan?
put up the
Question.
castle.
Who built it?
Wait, didn't you ask this last? Oh, right.
Yeah, but I didn't get my answer.
Ah, yes.
It's obviously a precursor civilization to modern Schultz, or at least a branch thereof. It's got some commonalities with them, but some other really interesting architectural ideas that don't seem to have made it into what else you've seen on the continent. You haven't really seen any other examples quite like it to know specifically what they were. Yeah.
Okay.
Since the city has never been, to your knowledge, discovered or explored, you don't really have an idea.
Would I know what Yuan-Ti architecture looks like? Going throughout my travels, would I know what?
Lots of snakes.
I tell you what, go ahead and roll me. So this is an archaeology check for you.
Okay.
So roll your intelligence plus your proficiency modifier.
Is this done already?
No. 8.
No, you haven't really seen any. You haven't seen any writings on the subject, and you've not had the pleasure of finding any yourself.
Hey Keith,
Yes.
the water that's running through the city,
Yes.
how deep does it look and how fast is it moving?
Well, it is submerged several
It is the water.
buildings.
It's moving pretty fast, and in the places where it has sort of run into the city towards the center, it's about 10 to 15 feet deep.
Does it look like it's moving fast enough that it would be difficult to cross?
Yes.
Okay.
It would very likely, if you weren't prepared for it and ready for it, it would be very likely to sweep you off your feet. It's moving pretty good.
So I can't tell for sure. It looks like down on the south right before it goes into the lava, there might be a bridge of some sort crossed.
Yeah, I can get us across the water if that is a problem.
Is that what that is?
Would it
I mean,
Attract attention.
looking out
as
that
in
far,
physical?
that's kind of.
Okay.
You think you might see something down there?
I can always send Hemorrhoid to examine things.
Into the water?
Well, I mean,
I'm thinking the water will be a bit
along
buried.
water, or I can
Other
push him
things.
out on a little tiny
That's why
plank of wood,
entering from here, we don't know what's
or I
there,
could
but
turn him into something
At
that's
least we would be protected.
more
from most
useful
of
in the
this
water,
part of the city.
like
Yeah, like an
Like a
octopus.
muskrat?
Nick says from the back of the party.
an octopus. I was thinking a really ugly furry fish, but I can turn him into
Like
an
a
octopus.
muskrat?
Yes. Oh, muskrat. That.
Or muskrats
Right
very
understands.
vicious.
They swim. They're basically rats that swim.
Great.
I would say
I love rats.
Okay.
Love rats.
I could do this. Shall I
In
do
terms
this?
of moving
Tastes
us
good.
across the
Oh,
water,
hold on.
we decided we wanted to move into this center of the city. I could walk us through the opening that is visible there. There are how many of us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yes.
9
Nine.
plus one great big spider.
Whoa.
What,
Whoa.
What is
What?
the thumbs up?
There are like
Chipper.
8,000 gift
goodness,
subs happening.
what?
Oh.
Dude,
How
Chipper,
many?
thank you.
Way to go, Chipper. Thank you. Awesome.
Woo! All the love. If you have lovely emotes, drop the lovely emotes. Because we love the
Hey,
Chipper
Griff,
snacks.
you've just been gifted a subscription to
have.
the
I
channel
have.
that you're part of. Awesome.
Huzzah!
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 All the hype.
All the big hype.
All right, so I think first thing we need to do is backtrack a little bit and cross that river so that we're on the east side of it, not the west side of it.
In theory, if we ought to plan on sleeping, if we wait until morning, I can get us across. I have a spell called Water Walk. I can walk us across water, but it is only in effect for 1 hour, and it is a fairly taxing spell. On a scale of 1 to 9, it is roughly a 3.
So
Alternatively, we could just head back upstream a little bit and see if there's an easier place to cross.
Haven't we been walking along the... Have we seen anything easier?
Because is that the river we've been following the whole time?
Yes, that's
Okay.
the river you've been following.
At least after the...
Yeah.
It is, it is running fairly swiftly, but there's a couple of spots that you've passed. Maybe a half hour to 45 minutes or so back that you could probably get across places where little sandbar has built up and impounded the river a little bit behind it.
So what are some of the focal more interesting points as we look upon the city that we can see?
Lava, the
No, I understand that, but
The
like
circle.
prominent points.
Well, obviously the large circular structure in the eastern part of the city stands out. If for no other reason than circles are very, very rare in nature. And you've been in nature all this, 3 weeks now, so anything artificial, let's say, is standing out to you. The amphitheater in the northwestern section sort of stands out. As you watch, you do see, you kind of hear an indistinct roar from that direction, and birds, scatter and startle out of that space.
Boy, that's not ominous at all.
Not but it's not really surprising.
The water splashing over into the lava pit in the southern part of the city is steaming up, and that whole sort of section of the city is sort of enveloped in mist because of it.
Okay.
Let's see. What else jumps out?
So all these buildings in the water were flooded, right? Like they weren't at the point that they were built, supposed to be
Yes,
built
yes,
in the water.
they were flooded.
They were flooded. Okay.
It looks like what happened was the whole, the ground underneath the city subsided, and the water and the river started flooding into it because of that.
Oh, okay. I see. I gotcha. It's sinkhole.
It's a sinkhole.
It's a sinkhole.
Gotcha.
It's a giant sinkhole.
It's a giant sinkhole.
What did you call me?
I'll happily put up the tower so that we can camp for the night, and you can rest up for your nastiness.
We'll want to put it like,
Quite a fair ways.
Where
like
do you
maybe
want to
half, I say on the other side of the river, and then like half a mile back from the cliff, just so it's unlikely that anyone stumbles on it or sees it from the city.
Alright, in that case I will need all of your shoes.
What?
I do know that the
But I'm
army
barefoot.
is on the east
Also
side.
And your,
barefoot.
your feet, I suppose.
So the army is on the east side of the river.
That's a good point.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Now we are still planning on beating them down there, is that correct?
Well, they won't stop for the night, so they might come across us. So maybe we don't cross today.
I would say stay across the river.
Alright, then I will not need your shoes.
All right, so we'll just go half a mile back and
Yeah.
Okay.
create the tower.
Alright, so the
Do you want to
tower.
move a little ways away from the river as well? That we are
Yeah.
not visible from the clearing of the water.
Okay.
I could kind of hide it in the cliff some. Make it look like it's just a part of the rock.
I do not know the limitations.
It won't be exactly right, but
Pretty close to it.
yeah.
I'd feel better if it was just back further away so that it's unlikely anyone will notice
Yes.
it. Because the last thing I want to do is wake up in the morning and have an army surrounding the tower.
Perhaps
Yeah.
we have, excuse me, 2 watches. One watching the city for anything,
And then one
and
watching a
another
tower,
watching a tower.
probably.
It would
Fair.
stretch us a little bit more thin, but I think it might be wise.
Granted, we don't. It's midday, right? That's when we
Yeah,
got here.
it's about midday.
So we don't have to set up the tower right now. We could all just stay here for the moment and then go set up the tower as it gets darker.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Is there any way we see that might be easier to get down than jumping?
The only other way that you see that doesn't require either jumping or climbing down the cliffs is going to be that staircase in the southwest. All the way in the bottom southwest.
that's a long way
How
away.
tall are
We have
those?
rope 50 feet.
I have rope too.
So do I.
I do
We
as
have more
well.
than enough
We can
rope.
tie the
And we
rope.
can
Um,
fall.
Yeah.
Feather fall would make us
I can climb too.
faster
It'd be
and
faster and
no
easier.
evidence.
Well, except for casting a spell, but
Yeah.
let's
But
hope
we
that
can-
casting a spell doesn't give us away.
We can also cast a spell at the bottom to remove the rope, so I don't think that is an issue.
You can do that.
Well, I can shoot the
Or I
rope and then
can
break
just untie the rope and bring it down with me while I walk down.
it. Yeah, if you-
Either or.
Anyway.
Yeah, I can climb too. So
I like the idea of jumping, but that's just me.
you would.
I'm not okay with jumping.
Oh, why
That's a
not?
Zaka.
I was gonna say you've already done it once, but I wasn't
Yeah.
there for that. So.
So we'll travel back a bit and set up shop for the night. No, we're doing
when
we're
it
staying
gets
here when
dark.
it gets
For
dark.
right now, I at least want to stay here and like
Take in
belly
this.
down up on the edge of the cliff, and I just want to watch the city and try and see if I see like people moving around or any patterns of movement or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Give me a perception check.
Bardic inspiration.
What's your bardic inspiration?
D8. 1.
Also,
You remembered you're a bard.
I know, right?
Congratulations.
Natural 20.
Nice. So you're gonna hang on to your bardic inspiration for
it
that?
only
Yep.
lasts for 1 minute.
10
Oh.
minutes.
I might need
It's
it
10 minutes.
within that time frame, so
Give my
sure.
inspiration back.
Alright.
Nice.
So you drop down to your belly and you crawl forward to the edge of the cliff and you peer out. And as you peer out and just sort of sit there for a little bit, the training comes back to you of what to look for signs of life in wherever you happen to be. Now it's a little bit different. You were training in the mountains. You were generally tracking wildlife, but every so often you'd use those skills to track enemy combatants as well. All of those skills come roaring back to you, and you pull yourself up, and you prop your head up on your chin, and you just wait, and you let your eyes sort of go a little bit unfocused and just look for the movement. The first thing that strikes you is that while there are pockets of wildlife in the city, for a city that's abandoned and has been, as far as you're aware, for eons, there's not as much wildlife as you would have expected. And then you start to notice the other things. There are little creatures running around that sort of skitter in and out of the shadows and looks very reptilian in their no, they're not Yanti. They look like little dragons.
That's a lot better.
Kobolds.
I got one.
That's
Now.
useful.
You do see also the Yuan-Ti that occasionally patrol the city. They seem to be centered more around that circular structure that you're looking at
Of course.
Yes.
in the on the eastern side.
We're gonna have to go.
The kobolds seem to be all over. You do catch.
Y-U-A-N-T.
You do catch glimpses of figures robed in red passing between buildings.
Do they look like normal people?
Oh
Yes.
no. Oh crap. I know who these are.
And every so infrequently, you especially down close to where that bridge that you're seeing, you actually catch sort of like a feline humanoid. So not quite the same as Bright, but it looks like there might be at least one, maybe more tabaxi in the city as well. And then
Oh.
from the direction of the amphitheater, you hear the roar, and you look over in time to see this enormous, feathered T-Rex stomping out of the amphitheater to go hunting.
In which direction?
He moves down one of the main avenues heading south.
You're freaking serious.
Oi.
It's a whole lot of
And-
nasty in one place.
And
And it is at that point that you realize that you've got your elbow on a statue of some kind.
oh
And
no.
you look up, and it's sitting there hunched over the edge of the cliff.
Is a
looking up,
gargoyle.
bat wings poking out of its back, just sitting there,
Don't move.
looking out. And as you look past him, down the cliff,
There's more, aren't there? There's lots of them.
about every 100 feet or so around the rim of the city,
No.
both directions,
Any of them missing?
you're not there.
That's unfortunate.
Oh, we dead.
So everything that's skittering around.
We're already dead.
So the Yuan-Ti are centralized in like the circular palace, right?
We're dying
We
anyway.
did.
Do they all seem to? Let me describe what I'm looking for, and you just tell me if I see it or not.
Okay.
I'm looking to see if it looks like there are tunnels running underneath the city, and if they're like, so like if I keep seeing kobolds coming from like the same building, and anytime they like go do whatever, and then they have to come back, like there are central points like that they're coming out of tunnels or something. So they're traveling somehow across the
Yeah.
city that I can't see, but there's only so many openings.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. I don't know if I can see that or not,
Let
though.
me see. Let me see. 'Cause
There's just a lot of nasty in one place.
Elias doesn't know what the red robe characters are. Brayden knows what the red robe characters are, and that's bad.
All of this is really bad.
Let's see.
That's not good.
Let's climb down
Kill
into
them all,
the.
would be
Let's
good.
just jump into the lava. We'll just save ourselves the trouble, make this really easy.
Finally, you're on board.
Good character.
Okay. The
Hey, there's nothing wrong with a good
kobolds-
death.
Yes.
Finally, God, take me.
So
I want
the
it now.
kobolds
Honorable death.
actually
Good
they
death.
tend to use the surface streets of the city more than anything, but they all seem to leave out from and come back to one particular building.
Oh, which one would that be?
There's a sort of red half-domed, sort of barrel-shaped building, about center, up on the northern end, just about even with your waterfall.
Okay.
So that's where they seem
That's
to
the
be coming
kobold nest.
from.
Do the gargoyles go all the way around every edge of the city?
I think we found the defense mechanism.
It'd be real handy to have a wizard right by now.
Yeah, what was it?
We do.
I'm a wizard, Harry.
While he's out looking, I would like to take Elias, if Elias is willing, and go and find us a good spot to put up for the night and scout around the area up here.
You're looking for a good place to put up the tower.
If you are amenable. If not, I will ask
No,
someone else.
well, what happened to not Scooby doing the party?
I didn't say that.
No, I'm fine.
Let's.
Like you're fine, like you're gonna go, or you're
No,
not?
I'm not going.
I will go.
A lot of bad luck follows
I'll
Claire.
go with you.
Alright, I
We
think
will
we
go.
just go
We
find a
will
place and
go
make sure it
scout
is
out
safe
a
there.
place
Okay.
for the
One
town.
more question, Keith.
Sure.
Do I see very many people leaving the city by way of the south stairs?
I mean, those are a good long way away.
But with a natural 20,
But with a natural 20,
it's 3,000 feet, by the way.
I'm seeing closer to 4.
I just
But,
got like a 2 or 3 on perception.
You do see movement on the stairs, up and down, but it's hard to tell who or what it is.
Do the red roped figures seem to have like a central area they're spending their time at?
They're spread out pretty far, but they do seem to be more centrally located in the southwestern part of the city.
All right.
Okay, so while you guys are sort of hashing out what you're doing over there, we'll go to you guys.
Okay.
So you guys are searching for a spot to put up the tower.
Bad place.
Okay.
Yes, I'm going with as well, because that makes sense.
There's no
Are you sure that leaves Brayden by himself?
Never mind. That's a very good point.
Okay, so go ahead and
Unless we
give
could get him to
me a
proc
survival.
and he'll,
Just one of us, two
I'm
of
sure
us,
this
three
is
of us.
I got +1, so if you want advantage.
I have
I doubt that I
plus
have
2,
any.
I think.
Survival.
No, I have plus 4.
What is survival? What's wisdom? Okay, I can do it if you don't. I have a +3.
I also have plus 3.
You would like to roll and I will roll? Or
Yeah,
do we-
yeah, we can both.
I'll give one of you advantage.
So if the two of you want to roll and one of you can have advantage, that
Okay.
would work.
give a suggestion.
Yeah. I didn't do very good.
20,
Not a one.
21, 22.
22? Yeah, you find a spot, in short order, in fact. You find a spot that sort of fits the parameters for what you're looking for. It's about half a mile or so back from the cliff, about a half a mile or so from the river. It's open enough that the tower can go up, but it's also secluded enough that nothing should sort of stumble upon you guys in the night. It's sort of a rise in the landscape where it's been worn away a little bit. And there's a little bit of a cliff face, sort of that you could tuck the tower into and be protected on about two sides.
Additionally, something as we're walking, I would like to sort of keep an eye out. Does it look like there's any places where the city might have extended before it sunk into the ground? Are there any signs of old buildings or anything?
Make me a perception check.
I love perception. Oh no!
Try sneaking in.
16, 16 plus 9 is going to
Ooh.
be 20.
Yeah.
You do like perception.
Okay.
I do like perception.
Bad choice.
Doesn't really look like there's anything in this direction that might have been part of the city. You're almost getting the impression that the entirety of the city itself just happened to have fallen within the confines of the sinkhole.
Well, that's convenient.
I don't
But-
believe this is coincidence.
But of course, being a person of faith, you don't think that coincidence has anything to do with it.
I feel like living in a world with evil magic makes me not believe in coincidence, but
So,
Who was here before us and what happened to him?
It was a city. It got destroyed by Rasnisi, we believe. Yes.
Gesundheit.
I think.
you're not there.
I believe that was our history lesson.
Yeah.
No.
I know. So
Well, no, it was.
Yes, it was.
yes.
Yeah, that was the other place. We don't know what destroyed Obo.
No one knows what happened to
It
him.
happened a long time
Yeah.
ago.
No.
Before written history.
The only thing you know, Bright, about Omu is that it is a forbidden city.
Okay.
For what that's worth.
Forbidden.
Forbidden.
Niels, yeah.
Forbidden.
Alright?
Question that I just thought of while I'm watching. Do the kobolds and the Yuan-Ti and the cultists mingle a lot? Or do they tend to keep somewhat separate from each other?
I think a good question is it like gang members and they have
Am I looking at an army or a bunch of small gangs?
When it doesn't happen often that the Yuan-Ti cross paths with the kobolds.
Okay.
But when they do, there's no violence, but there is a clear pecking order, and the kobolds are on the bottom of it.
a surprise.
What a surprise!
Yeah.
It's always got to be the little guy.
You do not see the Yuan-Ti interacting with the red-robed figures.
Okay.
What you do see is anytime they get close to crossing paths, that the red-robed figures find some way to vanish.
Okay. Also, who's in charge of the feathered T-Rex?
That's its own entity.
He is. It looks like it's in charge of
Do
itself.
things like get out of its way and seem to avoid it?
Wouldn't
It's
you?
a T-Rex.
Okay.
Does it have territory?
Is it a member of whatever the hell is happening in this city, or does it just seem to be like the last resident who happened to stick around and no one can get him to leave?
Smog. Is this basically Smog?
Everything gives it a wide berth.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Last
That's
resident.
good. Yeah. That's,
Last resident. He's just not going.
he's just not going anywhere. Nobody cares enough. Okay. After I gather all that information, I'll carefully, not disturbing the gargoyle, I'll head back and find the tower.
So
Okay.
basically, we've got a Batman situation here. Killer Croc, the Penguin, Joker, Two-Face.
Great.
Yeah.
Now,
And you
That
forgot,
is-
you forgot Cat Lady or
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and Catwoman. That is not an inaccurate description
No.
of our problem.
No.
We've entered Gotham.
Oh dear.
Now what is it? Does this
Gotham
Natural 20
always
show him
sucks, you
anything
guys.
of this?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, nobody goes over there.
Natural 20 didn't know what that was.
The lava.
For the lava.
I know, I understand
for the
that.
thing that
but-
is above the
I assume not much goes over there because it's in the middle of the lava.
I mean, you've got the mist and stuff, so it's really hard to see. You don't see a lot of movement from over there, so it's hard to tell with the distance and the mist, even with the natural 20.
And I didn't see anything attempting to cross the water without going over the bridge thing, right?
No, not so
But why
much.
would you need to if you could just walk through the city?
Sorry, I just had this picture in my mind of all of us in a flying carpet and then just carpet bombing the city. I don't know why.
I don't think that
Just with
works.
fireballs.
If we creatively interpret the rules of Glyph of Warding, then we could.
Here, put it on the stone.
Veto. Because as soon as it passes 5 feet, it's 5 feet.
It's 5 feet.
If it's as
It's
soon as
done.
it passes 5 feet underneath you, it explodes and catches you in the blast.
We'll
That's why I said fireball.
we'll just fly really fast, really low, like 5 feet off the ground.
So basically, kamikaze.
Anyway, so I'll
So-
go back to everybody.
So you guys
Right.
gather up at the tower.
Oh,
Blah,
oh,
be it-
I'll
be
cast the
explained.
tower. Yes.
Okay.
I'm casting the tower.
And I assume you
It
fill your
blends in.
compatriots in
Yes.
on everything that you see.
So Gideon just walks in and sits down and just starts going.
It's bad. It's real bad.
What's
Yes.
wrong, Gideon?
Red. No, the people from your city, they also use red as their sort of symbol. The ones who are explorers, yes.
What?
The people who are in charge of the exploration. You found half of a person.
From
It-
Port 9.
Oh, the Flaming
Oh,
Fist?
The
Flaming Fist. Are they?
I mean, they do have red, not to this extent.
Do I know what they are? May I roll to know what they are?
Bad news.
Yeah.
Oh,
We did see you on here.
yes. I will give you a history roll.
Well, we already knew from the Oracle that the Yuan-Ti were in the city.
Yes.
That's not new.
15.
From Gideon's description, maybe the Red Wizards of Thay.
Ah, the Wizards of Thay.
Not of Thun.
That's bad news.
So, Sploof, what do you know about gargoyles?
What do I know about gargoyles, God?
God.
Because player Lance has an idea, but Gideon is
Yeah.
not the person to enact this plan.
What
They're
would that
nasty
be?
elemental.
Would that be like history?
It's gonna be an Arcana check.
Arcana?
Arcana.
Well, that's good because I have a +6. And that's a natural 20, so.
Woohoo! Okay, so you know that gargoyles are elemental creatures. They're elemental stone creatures that can be quite tough. They can fly. They can fly really fast.
Fly speed.
And oftentimes they are tasked to guard a particular thing or area, and they do so single-mindedly.
Oh. So,
So
we just get
I
one?
tell all of these.
So that would just mean we would have to take out one, but that could
Unless
cause.
that, of course, activates.
So, Sploof,
Yeah.
do you think you'd be able to tell the difference between a gargoyle and just a regular statue somehow?
You know it's very difficult if they're not moving.
Relax, acting.
Or just push it.
So player Lance wants to know if we cast detect magic, if we would see a gargoyle light up.
That's a good question.
Gideon wouldn't know that,
I
but
am proficient,
I could, of
like
course,
double proficient in Stone Origin.
that could work.
That might be good.
Because I'm hazarding a guess that all the gargoyles, or all the statues, are not all gargoyles.
That's what I
That
was
seems
wondering.
like
Yeah.
a lot.
That's why I was wondering if one might
That's
be.
what we thought when we fought the dragon at the end of Storm King, but that was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not-
They're
yeah.
all gargoyles.
Yeah.
No, they are. Good luck.
There.
But we're not gonna be able to inspect every single one of them.
We don't need to, we just need to inspect one.
Yeah.
We just need to find one.
If I can detect magic.
I have detected.
I just don't know if detect magic would show a gargoyle or not.
I also was thinking, perhaps, I don't know how familiar I would need to be, but if taking your description of your friend Fire, there is a possibility, however slim it may be, that I could contact him.
That could be useful.
But I don't know if I am familiar enough with him to do so.
I'm very familiar with him. What do you need?
I don't really know.
I have a
God
letter.
might be able to tell me, but I have to wait for God to not be busy.
So anyway, while God is busy,
Sorry.
so here's what I'm thinking. If we can find a place where there is not a gargoyle, it's just a statue, we might be able to slip past that and get down into the city without sounding the alarm.
Except aren't they sort of go around everything so they could see across
Every-
the same way
every-
we saw?
Right, but I don't. I'm gonna guess that the gargoyles aren't supposed to watch for intruders everywhere. I'm assuming they are only watching certain. Like each one has an area it's watching. Because if they're watching everywhere, we're screwed anyway, and
But if
we're done for.
There's no way.
the problem that I am seeing is that they have a very fast movement and they are only 50 feet from the base. So within 6 seconds roughly they could reach us.
Somebody has the ability. It's you, isn't it, who can turn things against one another?
That's him.
I do.
That'll be
Oh.
Maya.
I also have. No, that's just me.
It will be the only thing.
All right. Well, either we assume that there is a way to slip past the gargoyles without pissing them off, or we have to go all the way around to what is obviously the most heavily guarded portion of the whole city because it's the only way in. So if we assume that there is some way to sneak past the gargoyles, we get down in the city. If we can come up with a reliable way to move across the river without getting swept away every time, maybe we set up in one of the flooded buildings as like our base of operations, because nothing in there
I can
is gonna
provide
go in
this option. I can cast water walk, so you can walk across the water.
take out the kobolds first.
You want to wipe out the whole city?
Those poor animals.
We're going to, we have to figure, like, I don't know where in the city we want to go, so either we march straight in at the Yuan Ti and assume that the Circle Palace thing is the place to be,
I mean,
Or we go after,
Right.
or we enter,
or we try and
fight
weaken
the
and
evil wizards.
cause enough problems to provide us an opening to find them. So if we're going to go in and, like, take on one of these groups, I would say the kobolds first, because they'll probably be the easiest. Or the red wizard people, because the Yuan Ti are
They're
unlikely
dangerous.
to... Well, but the Yuan Ti are unlikely to come help them.
ah,
Right? Like, it looks like these groups are disparate enough, we might be able to take one on at a time and not have to fight the whole city all at once.
Could we turn them against each other?
I mean, maybe.
I mean, if you just,
I
if
don't really
we
like
run
walking
fast,
to Yuan Ti.
Or
I've
we
seen
just
you
go in...
I've seen you go very fast.
If we can get
Could
the
you
kobolds to attack
outrun
the
a T-Rex,
That's-
have it chase you,
Well, and I
and
don't know
lead it
enough about
into
what's going on
a
in the city
group?
to know if we could even pull
What
it
were
off.
you
But
asking? I'm sorry, I was...
No, you're fine. Spell sending.
Uh-huh.
It says a creature with whom you were familiar. How would you have to be familiar? Like, is that a personal familiarity or is that?
Yeah, that's going to be a personal familiarity.
How
Anyway.
wise is T-Rex?
Not very.
So
It's a
either
T-Rex.
we try and take on each group on its own to weaken the whole city, so potentially we don't have to deal with everyone all at once, or we just try and make a beeline straight for the Yuan Ti capital palace thing and hope that that's where the origin of the death curse is.
From you looking, what could you tell what their numbers were in the essence of if there's more Wizards of Thay versus Yuan Ti? Just what are the number economics of people?
I counted all their legs, I divided by 2.
From just
So
what
Yuan
you've
Ti
seen,
doesn't
like
And you got a remainder
Yeah, it
because
doesn't
the
work for
Yonti don't
Yonti.
have legs.
Right.
It looks, from what you saw, it looked like the red wizards are vastly outnumbered.
So the other thing
Makes
to
sense.
remember is timing. We are still on a time schedule with an army of undead.
Yes.
Right, but I don't... I
We
mean,
don't
we
know how
could...
they fit in.
Right, and I kind of almost want to wait and try and see where they go when they show up.
But if they are in opposition to us, wherever they may go.
What if they cause a distraction?
The undead army?
Yes.
I think that will be a distraction, yes.
Yeah.
But the distraction for what? We don't know where we're going.
Well, if they cause distraction, you know, all of them rush over to.
I don't
the
think that's going to happen because we already know Rosnisi is working with the Yuan Ti.
Yes.
So I'm assuming the undead are just a whole
Also,
part of this
yes.
nastiness. But if we wait and watch the army come in, we might be able to figure out where the undead are sort of based in the city, and then maybe we'd have a better idea of where to go. Because right now, we're just guessing, and potentially we're going to walk in there, piss everything off, and have to fight the entire city. And we will lose.
Versus
Elias,
the entire
do you have
city
an
and
idea?
I had a question.
Right.
A question. Okay.
Whose army is it?
We don't know. Fire's army? Is it?
It's the robed
No, the
figures, I
rogue
would
dude?
assume.
Is it your uncle's army? We don't know.
Oh, Uncle's army.
Yeah, my uncle might be with them. We don't know.
Okay.
I might have seen.
I
it.
thought you said this already.
Nope.
Nope. That's new.
No, I swear.
Did I have that yet?
Part of his magic, yes. And we had a discussion about the magic.
You guys did, not
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
Not with the rest of us.
This is
No.
new.
Yeah, you had that
Because when we went up, and you were passed
If
out,
that is the case, then
Meyer
I-
wouldn't
I-
tell us anything.
If that is the case, I would like to take this back. For some reason, I was thinking that discussion happened in front
Amnesia.
of everyone.
Oh.
Mm-mm-mm.
I do apologize.
I'm going to roll for retcon.
Because I slapped you.
Because you.
Because I slapped him.
Oh,
Because
okay.
You guys were part of this.
Yes.
Because someone else was talking to him and I slapped him.
Anywho,
Anyway, not important.
so your uncle's controlling the army?
No. I don't think he's controlling them, per se.
Whoever's controlling them, they're not friendly.
I just know he's
From
down
control-
there.
I-
control undead.
Present company
Yeah,
accepted.
Now this is a weird theory that I hope is it. But what if that's an invading force that's going to attack Omu?
I don't think that would be the case, but if it is,
That
then
would
it
be
doesn't-
great. That would be fantastic.
I don't know how that benefits us, however.
Because in the chaos of that big of a fight, we might actually be able to get into the city and find what we're looking for without fighting
That's what I'm
everything.
saying. Let them.
But I have no idea if the army is or isn't friendly. I'm going to guess that they're working
So,
together.
The problem we have right now is we either wait for the army, see what happens, but then we would have an entire undead army inside of Omu, or we hurry and go inside before the army gets here and hope
There
that
is
we.
one
But
thing
if-
I can do.
If it takes us more than like
Which
a
is-
day to figure out what we're doing in there, or if we get caught up trying to fight
Yeah.
off the whole city, the army's going to show up while we're there
Anyway.
One way or
anyway.
the other.
Like, we're not going to avoid them.
There is one thing I can do. I can cast invisibility on myself and message higher if I get close enough.
That would require you to get close enough.
But
Yes.
if he's invisible,
Through
perhaps
the
this
horde
is-
of undead.
If he is invisible, perhaps that's not a
And
I mean, if you
you're
wanna try it-
Invisible and sneaking and all
And
that.
isn't your uncle with him?
I also have invisibility,
17.
so if I need to be pack up, I can.
What's the range?
I can
Like
cast.
the message 120 feet.
That's real close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, right.
Yeah.
While this discussion is happening inside the tower,
Okay.
you hear a decidedly young giggling and laughing outside.
Oh, that's disturbing.
There is nothing.
I mean, I'm used to disturbing at this point.
There's nothing more pleasant in the whole world than a baby's laughter. Unless you're home alone and don't have a baby.
Okay.
The ghost baby.
What direction did it come from?
Seems to be just right out, like in
Right
the
up.
in the clearing, maybe right outside the front.
Okay. It's not. Is it? It's not night yet, is it?
It's like dusk.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go look.
Okay. So, with
Well,
no
you-
warning, with
But
no warning.
I'm gonna be sneaky.
Okay, you're gonna
I'm
be
gonna be
sneaky.
sneaky. Yeah.
With no warning, she's going to go off on her own and potentially get herself killed. What else is new?
This is exactly like us.
So,
Life of a
This is
cat.
how we do. It's a cat.
so,
Cat.
Somebody does
Cats.
this every night.
so bright.
Okay.
You fade into the shadows. You disappear from everyone else's sight. You go over and you slip through the door while they're not watching. For the rest of you, Bright waltzes over to the wall, hugs it for a little bit, scoots down the edge, opens the door, and slips out.
You know that scene from Emperor's New Groove where Kronk is humming to himself? And that's exactly what I'm seeing right now.
I'm sorry, this dice does not like you. That was a natural one.
Oh my gosh. That's.
Are we concerned that she just... And the...
I will follow her.
Alright, so
Would you like
as
to
you
do
step
that?
outside,
Sure.
Yeah!
And I'm invisible.
Invisible for 1 hour.
I'm gonna go ahead and follow you invisibly as well.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wait, here's backup.
alright, so the two of you step outside, and you see Bright. Bright, when you stepped
Talking
outside,
to a tree.
you saw Stalking Giggle. So your friend from childhood. And he is standing at the edge of a stream that was not there when you came in. And the stream is going over a little small, like, drop in the ground. And he's playing with a little wooden boat in the flow of the stream. Oh, hi!
Hello.
I'm getting it
And
feelings right
What
now.
do
And
we
the two
see?
the two of you see her, whatever she's doing, and nothing else.
I'm going to go over and look at the stream from the boat. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Eyes of the grave.
I'm just thinking of it.
Yeah.
They all float down here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So you actually see a little bit of a shade of a smallish tabaxi boy. And Bright is sort of kneeling next to him. You don't see the stream or any of that, but you see him.
Okay, I'm gonna ask why he's here.
I just thought, you guys have been sort of next to this river all day and the last couple of days, and it looked like a lot of fun, and I'm not real fond of water necessarily, but I like boats, and this was kind of cool, and I thought I'd make a boat for you.
Okay, so I picked the boat up.
Your hands actually just sort of go through it,
Okay.
and you're not
Okay.
able to actually pick it up.
Oh, crap. Why didn't we, as a side note, why didn't we take Charles's floating boat?
Yeah, why did
Because we're dorks.
Because that would be theft.
And also, I didn't think we'd need it.
No, silly. Boats go on water.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, dummy.
But are you having fun
I am.
playing with?
I am. And watch this. And he sort of jumps up and shrinks down to the size of the boat, lands in the boat, and the boat goes over the cliff. And then he pops back up and lands beside you, and the boat's back again. That was fun.
How?
Well, you can do a lot of fun things, or I can do a lot of fun things now. But yeah.
No, what do we got ourselves
And this
into?
way I don't have to go swimming in the creek.
Yeah, swimming is not so fun.
Can't tell if this is a conversation with God or not.
I can't even gesture to you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Lily, do you have a best idea?
It's a terrible
Nope. I'm just a loudmouth.
Okay. Well, but how did you? Where did you go when you went down the cliff?
I went to that place with all the fun buildings.
Oh, tell me about the fun buildings.
A spy.
We have a guy.
Tell me about the fun buildings, please. I want to learn about them.
Dead
Oh, there's
spies.
so many cool things. There's little things running around in there that I pounced on and chomped on and ate up real cool. There were some things that I wasn't able to. I had to hide from them. There's this big thing, lots of feathers. Looked like a bird, but it wasn't a bird.
Okay,
And
okay.
I really had to get away from him.
It scared the crap out of me if that thing could fly.
Sorry.
Later.
Carry on.
There were these 9 places where these really interesting people were standing.
What?
They were just sort of watching these little stone cube thingies, and yeah, they were weird.
Weird how? What did they look like?
Wow. They looked like animals, but they weren't animals. They were people. You know.
Okay. What about these stone cubes? How big were they?
Oh, and he holds his hands up, and you know, of course, it's hard to sort of get a sense because he's a little indistinct. But it looks like they might be about 6 inches on the side.
Tesseract.
Yeah, I mean they'd be that
No,
size.
yeah.
Infinity stones.
So,
Infinity stones. We found them.
what? How many? Let's see. You said there were 9 of them. Of these weird
Yeah.
people animals.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And they were in all the interesting buildings.
Uh-huh.
Like, were they inside the wall? The circle? The circle-y?
No.
No. Okay.
The rock birds were mean, though. When I tried to climb down the cliff, the rock birds were mean. That's why I went down the river.
Okay. Okay, so the rock bird's on the cliff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We're gonna have to go
I
down the
hate
river.
you.
Yeah, we are gonna have to go down the
I
river.
told you! Jump the river. Down the waterfall.
Okay. And you just went down the river and.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he just grins up at you.
Thank you for telling me about the interesting buildings and things. I appreciate that.
It was a lot of fun.
Oh, I'm glad you had fun. It wasn't scary.
Oh, it was scary too, but
Oh.
it was fun.
Okay, fun but scary. Okay.
Actually, saw my uncle.
Wait, you saw your uncle?
Yeah, I saw my uncle. Tell him hi when you get there. And he disappears in a puff of smoke.
But what's he look like?
Hopefully
I
not
don't
your
know.
uncle. Maybe your uncle is.
If he's not a cat, I'm gonna be real surprised.
It's not
Yeah.
a cat.
So I would like to point out that if we can polymorph it into a chicken, and we carry it above our heads,
Yeah.
and we throw it.
Yes!
and somebody-
Yes!
The Legend of Zelda this.
So you know.
So
Hold on, I make
So I had a different idea.
Okay.
So Bright, you do remember that Giggle's uncle was named Bag of Nails, and he disappeared a couple of months before the incident with your sister.
Quick,
He just
tell
up
me
and
what it
vanished.
is.
Nobody knows
Okay.
where he went.
Okay. I'm gonna go back in the tower now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you turn around and you start walking back towards the tower. The rest of the two of you have seen her been having this conversation with thin air. You've only heard her side of it. You at least know that something was there. Someone was there.
Okay. So I'm gonna go back.
We're
gonna-
just not there.
So when you walk back in, Sploof and Clara are not there. Everyone else is.
Where's
And I can't even take it off of myself.
Where's Clara?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Oh, they had to sneak out for a little bit.
So,
Clara had to pee.
Okay.
and of course, you can't go by yourself, so Split went with you.
Gideon, did you, when you were looking, did you see? You saw Tabaxi, right?
Yep. I
Okay.
think maybe
Right here.
it looked vaguely like a
Okay.
tabaxi.
Yeah, kid
Okay.
man. Or person.
Okay. Just I might know a way that we could get into the city.
Oh, please go on.
Okay.
So there's since there's the gargoyles around the cliffs, but it seems like if we go down the river, like jump, you know, like go through the waterfall.
Just so we're on the same page, the 50-foot waterfall
Yeah.
that
yeah.
probably ends in sharp rocks.
Hey, you rolled a natural 20 to
Probably.
have sharp
I
rocks at
mean,
the
maybe. I don't know. It could.
Well, if we do Featherfall though, and then we get
That is unfortunately not the craziest idea I have ever heard.
end? Mm-hmm.
I mean, just it seems like it could be a.
Wait, how did you figure this out?
I just had a
vision.
inspiration.
You are too trustworthy.
Apparently, I am. Oh wait,
Interesting,
wait,
I just-
wait.
Oh, bardic inspiration.
Okay, so
Still not good
6.
enough.
12. Wait, or is that a +7 now?
It's
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, it is +7. 15. Or no, 13. 13.
That's hard.
Okay.
13 insight.
Can't maths.
Let's see. I'll roll for deception. Yeah,
It'll be a 13. It's not hard.
I got nat 20. So.
Bravo. Well done.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Okay.
She,
So
I
I
believe
just,
you.
she just had.
I was
brainstorm.
thinking about it. I was just out and I was, just thinking that maybe it might work.
Not the craziest idea I've ever heard.
So waterfall is an
So
entry
waterfall,
point.
yeah, because
So what's the
then
plan when we get in there?
then the gargoyles can't see us if we're in the river.
Yeah, I mean, if you stay like low in the river, I mean,
Well, and I mean, we kind of wanted to see if we could set up in one of the buildings in the water anyway,
Yeah.
so that works.
And then what's our plan after that?
I mean, that's kind of what we were discussing. We can try and whittle down the ability of the things in the city to attack us. We could just beeline it straight for the Yuan T compound and hope that that's what we're looking for.
Should we either Rambo or Black Ops this?
Also, maybe we're not
seen too
looking.
many puppet shows.
Maybe we're looking for something that's not in the compound.
Well, if it's not in the compound, where would it be?
I'm just in a different place.
Just
None of you can see me.
Care to elaborate?
No, I just.
if you nudge me, I'll.
You know if you make an attack, it'll end.
It's too great to sit and watch.
Yep. Agreed.
I mean, I'm perfectly open to ideas of where else we should go, but not the compound isn't very helpful.
Okay, yeah, I realized that. I'm not exactly sure where, but somewhere there's.
So apparently you and I are on the same page about where whatever it is we're looking for is.
Yeah,
It's somewhere.
it's somewhere. Yeah,
But we don't know where.
Indeed. We don't know where.
Close mud.
Do we know what? Says thin air.
Says thin air.
Except everyone but Brightbot knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Did you hear that?
Hear what?
Or what?
What?
I don't know.
Is that you?
No.
We're
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
the phone.
Is
the
there
W's
another
died,
goblin
unavailable.
in our
It's
tower
here.
right now?
Please.
No.
Please leave a message after the beep.
The goblin you are calling is not present in the tower at this moment.
Oh, okay. Just
Please
okay.
take your number after the tone.
Well.
Alright, so here's a thought. Now it seems like the different groups are avoiding each other.
Well, I mean, not really. Like, the kobolds and the Yuan Ti are kind of... I assume they're all working together in some way. The wizards avoid the Yuan Ti, right? So, like, if a Yuan Ti's coming, the wizards disappear. They don't stick around. The kobolds grovel when the Yuan Ti show up, like, so they're subservient. But
What if we're able to cause a conflict within them and they kind of turn on each other?
I mean, that'd be great, but I don't know any way how to do that from what I saw. Like, it doesn't look like they're all trying to kill each other or they're all already angry.
he's thinking he could turn one specific person on another, I think.
Yeah.
Says the other.
I was gonna say set up someone look like a murderer.
Oh.
That might take a lot of work and time that we don't have.
Yeah. He's
And it, I think, would be unwise because, from what you said about numbers, the smallest threat is the Wizards of Thay.
Well, they're the smallest in number, but they're all wizards, so
They all can probably do the fireball thing.
yeah.
True.
They might actually be just as dangerous as the Yuan Ti.
Mhm.
If not more so to multiple people.
And then we've got the kobolds, and if we tried to align ourselves with the kobolds, that would be fruitless.
Because they're kobolds.
Because they're
So yeah,
kobolds.
either we're gonna pick a place where we think we can probably get the answers to what we want. We just head straight there, or we try and disrupt or take out some of the people already in the city. If we're gonna take out people, I think we should start with the kobolds because they'd be the weakest, or the wizards because they seem the least liked.
Perhaps
But-
something we have not considered would be a diplomacy route. We are, of course, not necessarily aligned with the parties in this place, but
Are you still invisible?
yes. Unless you take it off of me, I'm just going to stay.
Well,
invisible.
no, you get an hour.
Yeah, but you could break concentration.
Well, yeah.
If you leave it, then I'm staying in this
Okay, I'll do it now.
But we could also try talking perhaps with the wizard folk and perhaps.
I suspect the Yuan Ti already know that we're coming, and apparently they saw us at the port.
Yes.
So I'm not sure we could bluff our way past them. I think they know
Perhaps we
what
can
we're up
They
to.
keep the wizard folk quiet if they
You-
are uncomfortable with the Yuan Li presence.
Maybe.
You hear a gasp and then the pitter patter of little goblin feet up the stairs, and then Sploof actually comes down the stairs.
I'm back. I'm back.
Oh,
I had an idea.
Welcome back. I knew you were certainly missed in your long absence.
I'm so sorry. I'll try not to disappear like that again.
Yeah. Okay.
But so are we operating under the assumption that Pyre is part of perhaps this gaggle of people that
What do you
With
mean?
The army.
like the army that do we think that the army is probably working together with
I assume so. We don't actually know, but I kind of assume so.
well
If they're not, and they're going to invade, that would be awesome. But
there is a slight possibility that I could sneak in because they had another sploof.
You mean you would sneak in as yourself?
Yes.
Yes, it's a very sneaky thing to do.
that might be a good idea. I see a couple problems.
I see several, but I see
my-
several
the
problems with your
Spider-Man.
ideas
Oh my
too.
god.
You don't know who you're supposed to talk to. You don't know if you're actually working for them. You also wouldn't know where to go in the city, and it would leave you alone.
And does Spire know that you is not you?
Also,
One would assume so.
to go along with Sploof's crazy idea, he could have captured us.
I would be an excellent necromancer if I brought my upper necromancer's enemies bound.
It's not a terrible idea. My biggest concern is
Okay,
that
it could be.
Star
Yeah.
my biggest concern is that we wouldn't if someone tried to talk to you like you'd been working with them for the last 6 months, you wouldn't know who they were or what you were doing. So we just have to make it up as we go along.
Boring conversation anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean, we
I
could try it.
could polymorph myself into an undead goblin.
Or
to
into
go with them.
spoof.
I found more of me!
We could all be spoof.
We can always.
I mean, we could try that. Honestly, I feel like that's a little too complicated. We don't do very good with complicated.
No, not so much.
Last time we tried a complicated plan, it didn't work very well.
How long would it take us to walk the perimeter of the city to get over by the stairs?
Long time.
But we're gonna go down the
Maybe
river.
like 3 hours.
Guys,
Yeah, probably
the
about-
river's right here.
Probably about 3 hours.
3 hours? Well, if we're trying a more diplomatic route, or if we're trying to walk in a spoof, the river is, of course, our best point of entry if we're doing so stealthily.
I mean,
We could send some of you over the river. And
We are not splitting this group.
that's
We
right.
have to keep the gargoyles in mind.
Yes.
yes, we do.
There were, of course, gargoyles by the stairs.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
I personally think we're not going to get
That is
diplomacy.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't think
think
diplomacy.
so.
I mean, it's worth a shot if we
don't
really want to,
know
but I don't
enough.
think diplomacy's gonna work.
We don't know.
I can at least, if we get caught, I can act as though you captured me.
We're
You? I think that does not help
Or
us.
you capture us.
Or I captured. Well, if we fall into the river, it's going to be hard to sell that I captured you and threw you over the river.
actually,
I mean,
if other sploof is just like you, this would not be far fetched. We did all fall off of a mesa.
That is true.
You're not wrong.
Don't remind me.
Or
Fell off a
me.
mesa.
hey, I
I
climbed down.
fell off a mesa. What were you all doing?
I
I ran
climbed
down
down.
the mesa.
Clara.
Yeah, you didn't fall.
Azaka, how did you deal with falling off of a cliff?
She passes out.
She shudders. I don't want to think about it.
That's fair. I'm just curious.
I jump off on the back of a screaming, bagpipe playing dwarf and then save all of our asses.
I wasn't screaming.
That's right, you were playing the bagpipes.
Exactly.
Hey, you've jumped out of 2 high things on the back of someone.
This is true.
I
It's
did
becoming
see
a
that.
habit.
So I say go in through the river and then
Yes.
make a decision while we're there what we're gonna do.
I vote for the river.
I feel like it's less complicated, less easy for us to screw up.
I mean, I feel like if God tells someone something, we should probably listen, even if the God is a little bit meh.
Wait,
Uh,
what?
Sploof doesn't
Sploof.
know that you're God. Sploof's just.
Sploof, what?
Swoop, what did you say about God?
I would.
Who was talking with a god?
like
But there's
point
more
out
than one.
That was not. That was probably not God.
What wasn't God?
Nothing was not God.
Well, nothing is
What?
usually not God.
Don't
I'm
get,
sorry.
don't get extraterrestrial on us.
Don't get extraterrestrial on us either. My apologies. I believe I misspoke because I don't understand very much about this whole religion type of thing.
Look, we could have a long talk about religion. That would be a good thing.
Have fun with that, Sploof.
Am I going to be converted? Because you do have some interesting tricks.
I do not convert people. That is not my purpose.
Sploof begins taking levels of cleric.
If it means,
necromancer god.
if it means I can do the cool, like, dead hand thing, I'm willing to have entertain a conversation.
All right, so the conversation goes on for the rest of the night. Now that plans are somewhat settled.
And by somewhat settled, we mean as soon as we get into the
We
city,
jump
we're going
off,
to
yeah.
completely abandon any semblance
Yeah.
of planning.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't have a plan for
We
that.
didn't have plans,
Oh,
so it's
so-
fine.
Off the river.
So, by the way, the T-Rex, if we turned it into a bird and let it just fly around a little bit, and when it was over the city, someplace where we're not, if we
Sail.
just shoot it and drop a T-Rex in the middle of the city,
I just dropped the spell.
now there's a T-Rex that's angry in the middle of the city.
That sounds like a great idea.
That does sound.
actually
That's
really
a
like
great
this
distraction,
idea.
actually.
It does have a range of 60 feet.
Right, so we just have to get close to the T-Rex.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So,
A
I
T-Rex
would not
sleeps,
suggest
right?
getting close to the T-Rex.
wait, does
So,
that mean I have to stay with
Who's
it?
taking
No,
first
okay.
watch?
I'll take first watch.
I'll take second watch.
I'll take second. I'll take second.
I got third.
Third,
I'll take first.
And the Nix will take third.
and Nix will take third. Okay. First watch. Roll that.
Beautiful bean footage.
Yes.
No.
I was gonna go-
You're
I
just
was
gonna
going
watch
there.
advantage. Because I suck at
was
this.
going there.
It's okay.
It's a 3 and a 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Can I?
6.
Oh.
No, you
Damn.
can't. You already gave him advantage.
Wow. Okay. I mean, it's a dark night.
The night is dark.
Devices.
Night is dark.
The you've got the cliff behind you. There's sounds in the jungle that sound like jungle, and
Sounds like-
Sploof is annoyingly got this thing in his throat that he's trying to get rid of. All.
We'll have to conspire later off screen because it's not important for this. But anyway, Gideon has something he wants to talk to Sploof about, but we'll do that later.
Okay.
That's what happens when you spit acid.
I didn't know it was gonna come from there.
Caught in the back of your throat.
Out of context theater.
The rest of the
I
watch
didn't know it was gonna come from
goes quietly. There is no encounter. Second watch.
Good luck, I can roll. I like perception.
I'll do my own rolling. Thank you.
I'm on second too. So
Yeah, I
Oh wow,
showed
that was
up.
good.
Yeah, shut up. 14.
21.
Oh, so we've all just adopted the accent now. Is that
No,
no?
no.
Everyone adopts the accent at some point. It's okay.
Yeah, even my
20
player, even my
24.
Spanish
Oh, I
Tifa.
forgot
That
about
was
that.
super funny.
in the other game is speaking
Adopted.
with a Russian accent. So
Actually, interesting.
no.
Don't you start.
So we have a 31,
21.
21,
14.
and a 14,
Okay,
And-
have a
and
chance
a
to get
24.
the 31.
and a 24. Okay. So for the three of you, the night passes relatively uneventfully. You do, at one point, you hear mass movement. Might be a mile and a half, 2 miles
Towards
away
the river?
across the river, and it comes out from behind you guys, and sort of passes you and moves as though to go around the far side of the
Man, I really hope they're here to attack the city.
That's
Not
the
like-
army.
No, but I can hope.
That would be the army.
That is the only. That's the only anything of note that you guys sense during your watch.
Well, that's not good.
Bright, it's eerily quiet. None of your spirits have appeared for you this evening.
okay.
I noticed a little bit of tension between the both of you. Has something happened?
No.
That seems
Why,
like
why
a
would you?
blatant
Why
lie.
would
I'm
you
not
think
lying.
that?
It is almost palpable.
It's what?
Palpable, touchable. I can almost touch the tension between you.
It's non-existent.
That is a blatant lie.
Well, we'll see about that.
What is about?
Well, that was actually
Can
pretty good roll.
I?
19 plus 9 is
Can
going
I-
to be
can-
28.
That's
Can
17.
He can an advantage on it. Because Bright's gonna be like,
Natural? Nope. I was hoping for natural 20.
But he still kicked his butt,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's all good.
Why would you lie to a therapist?
Because I didn't hire you.
You did not need to hire me, but lying to me is perhaps not. If you would like me to butt out of what is not my business, I will.
Okay, then do.
Jeez.
oh.
That was
See, that's why there's tension between us. It's things like this.
Communication is
Yeah.
very difficult.
Yes.
And it is
Clearly.
unfortunately a two-way street. So.
I'm glad I wasn't on their watch.
Man, it's like marriage counseling.
I have no intention of marrying them, although I do have the ability.
This goes to
Talk
you.
about uncle being that rude.
Like I'm asleep in my bed and I feel the tension.
I've only done you, and Nix.
What?
His mask.
My mask.
No, he has not used his mask. Although he could have.
Oh,
Good.
I would have told you though.
What?
I would have told you in the conversation we have yet to have that I do suspect you should use the other side of it more frequently to balance out the madness.
Oh.
So I would have.
Oh
Madness.
yeah,
What
when he
madness?
put his
I'm not-
mask on, he found out about my uncle.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
I know many
Oh,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you use it on right? Too.
Mm-hmm.
Did I?
Maybe not.
No.
Oh.
No.
My bad. Sorry.
I thought.
Elias, where are you from?
The mountains.
Neverwinter.
Oh, that explains so much.
You cannot
Never
find
went
any good help.
I'm not into pleasure. Did you enjoy Neverwinter? I've heard of it, of course, but not particularly familiar.
Yeah,
Familiar.
it's breezy.
It's breezy.
Breezy.
It's because they don't have windows.
That's where I was going with it. Yes.
Love it. Love it. So the rest of the watch passes on.
Awkwardly.
And
Awkwardly.
Awkwardly. Yes.
Is it awkward for Clara?
Not particularly. She's used to this.
Third watch.
My watch.
Your watch.
And Nick's.
And it.
And okay.
Can I
So
just take advantage?
yeah, you'll take advantage.
Don't suck it up, Buttercup.
That'd be an 18.
18.
Not too
Awesome.
terrible.
Sounds good. So you were told by the previous watch about the noises off to the east, the sounds of the army passing by. By the time you and Nix start to take watch, there's no sign of them.
Okay.
So if they were passing by, they seem to have already done it, and you guys are not. You don't hear anything more from that particular avenue.
Okay.
It's,
No army crossing the
no army crossing the river doesn't seem to be coming towards you guys that you can hear. So the day starts to, the night starts to give way to
Day 12.
to
by the way.
pre-dawn, which starts to give way to dawn, and about the time that you would be expecting sunrise, because remember you guys are under a sort of this roiling cover of clouds that sort of covers the entire region. You start to notice that there are creatures sort of flitting through the air as though they're heading back to a nesting site for the day.
Can I see what kind of creatures?
They're vaguely bat-like, but they've got like very very long snouts.
Mosquito bats.
No, but
Demon one?
no.
And as you watch,
Oh.
Yeah.
about 7 of them seem to spot you guys and
No.
swoop down.
Just get inside.
I'm going inside.
And well,
Wait, our thing is covered.
Yeah.
That was one of the changes we made. There is a roof
Overhang.
on
Oh,
the thing.
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
graded on the side.
okay. So you see these
If you do it.
you see these things swoop down at you and bang against the bars, and their snouts point out, and sharp teeth
I back up.
and flicking tongues are coming at you guys.
What are these teeth?
Sturges.
Yeah. Really big scissors.
Since they
I'm
can't,
just thinking, yeah, knife.
since they can't get through, you guys are perfectly fine.
Okay.
Hey,
Blue tower
preparation.
for the win.
But we're stuck
Not necessarily.
Until
They'll
they-
go to sleep.
until they leave.
They're
Are
going
they
back to
just-
their nests.
Yeah.
So they try for maybe a couple of minutes to get through to you guys.
Okay.
They try openings
like
on all the walls around you, and once they realize that they can't get in, they just go ahead and fly back into the cave, the mouth of the cave
Okay.
that is right there at sort of right above the top of the tower that's was put up.
No.
What place?
Okay.
Good thing we planned ahead and had a nice, safe tower.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You've learned.
So, day 30. Is it 8 or 39?
No, it's 39.
Day 39 for you guys.
Another one down.
So the day dawns, Sploof takes the tower down. You guys pack up.
I just imagine that it deflates like a balloon sound.
Except,
Oh
Oh,
Oh,
no,
dear.
what happened to you?
while you were asleep,
Oh, what?
It's not me.
Me?
It's not
I
me.
don't have dreams.
You do now.
Oh no.
you are standing in the streets of Omu before it fell into ruin.
Okay.
There are bodies all over. There are wraiths circling. It's very similar to the vision that you had on the cliff top, except that you are now in the city. Far off down the broad avenue you find yourself standing in, you see a figure walking towards you, very gaunt, almost skeletal, carrying a staff topped with a skull,
Oh no.
and he's coming towards you. And then you wake up.
Don't fear the Reaper.
Oh no. I know who that was.
So do I. Oh, you're dead, man.
Oh no.
You're so dead.
Don't fear the Reaper.
It's not the Reaper. It's
Might as
worse.
well be. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
For those of you who would like to know what it looks like,
Oh, no.
it's on the
Wrong
front of
wrong
the Dungeon
book.
Master. It's on
No.
front of the Dungeon Master's guide.
No.
No, it's on the front
it's
of-
It's on the front of the adventure.
No, he's on the front of the Dungeon Master's guide.
Yeah,
as
he's
well.
also on the front of the dungeon
Yes,
master.
he is.
Is he?
Yes, he is.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
he's
alright.
a very famous D&D lich. Shows up. a
There
lot.
we go.
Ah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
boy.
that's who you see.
Oh, would
Oh,
Elias?
we don't
No,
die,
no,
we don't
Nope.
die.
It's a good thing our characters don't know what's waiting
Oh,
in that city.
All right. So you do awake with something of a start out of that, obviously.
Would Sploof, having studied liches and whatnot, know...
You didn't see the dream.
No. I'm just asking for future reference. Would I know, like, Asarak?
You might have to roll for it.
Okay,
He
just
disappeared a long time ago.
because I feel like this is something I should know. That's more like it. And that would be history or arcana.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, with the +6, that one would be 25.
Okay. If it comes up, I will let you
Okay.
know what you know.
Cool, that's fine. I just wanted to know if I would know for future reference if he decides to share with the class or
Okay.
if the name comes up later.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
All right. So you bolt out of bed.
Okay.
Elias bolts out of bed.
Yeah.
Ah, not of me, not of me. What?
What?
Oh, hi. Sorry. Are you okay?
Bedroom.
Are you alright?
I'm a little shook, but other than that, I think I'm fine.
I feel like this is more Clara's field, but do you want to talk about it?
No.
I can hear you.
I don't go
didn't
back
mean
to
it as
sleep.
an insult.
So the breaking of camp. What are you guys doing?
I tell the group about the cave above the tower.
So
There are big
disappearing the tower should probably be last, and we should probably, once we're gonna move pretty fast out of
We
here.
need to be quiet about this.
Okay, so we didn't hear sounds of battle last night, right?
I think I heard something marching along, but not towards
We
us.
heard we think we heard the army.
Yeah.
Right, but we didn't
Past.
hear the sound of like a giant fight happening in a lost city named
No.
Omu.
Would we have even heard it?
A battle that big, I would assume so.
And with wizards, I think it is.
I would
probably
assume we'd hear
likely.
something, which means they're probably
Well,
on
we
the
can go
same
take
side.
a look today,
Uh-huh.
see if anything has changed.
I really, really hope they're here to fight.
I doubt it.
Yeah,
Well,
me too.
Cross your fingers, spin
So,
your inspirations points, and let's
plan.
take a look at.
Plan. Go. Take a look at the city real fast. If we decide I don't know why we wouldn't, but if we decide we're going in, Sploof, you cast Featherfall on all of us. We jump down
In the river.
in the river.
Yes.
We should probably tie ourselves together before we jump.
Yes.
Otherwise, we're all gonna get spread out all over the place.
That's a.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
It is a good idea.
So I mean, the downside is potentially
We're tied together.
we're tied together, but I
We
think
don't jump.
all of us should be able to,
That's
you
not hard.
hold
to
our
remedy.
ground. Otherwise, we could potentially lose people in the city as soon as we get there.
It's a good idea.
All right.
Wow, you are so smart.
I know, right? That's a great day.
Okay.
I don't like it, but I think it is probably our best plan.
No,
My
I am
mom
all
used to
about
keep me on a
jumping.
leash all the time, so this is very comfortable for me.
I don't know whether that was Danny or
Oh, Braden.
I mean, have you seen my bedroom?
no.
Moving on. Okay. So you guys. Break camp and
Make way.
Yes.
Yeah.
make haste away from the
Sturge.
sturge nest.
I am so glad we don't have to fight those things. Unless we do.
I don't know. I
Yes,
don't know what you guys have to do.
So we head back to the cliff to check
So you
up
head
on
back to the cliff
Yes.
to look to check up on what's going on.
I do want to check see if all the guardrails are still there in place.
Make a perception check. Anyone who would like to look out over the city
Over to the city.
can make a
The
perception
city.
check as well.
The city. Nope, that's a 2.
So all the gargoyles seem to still be where they
Where they belong.
before.
Okay.
7.
I got the same as Nate.
Same. Okay.
Undead Army. Is it in Omu?
You do not see an undead army in Oman.
Does it look like they passed through?
No.
Can I see an undead army hiding on the cliffs of Omu?
You actually cannot.
Okay.
What you can see on the far end, about halfway down the stairs, there seems to be a little group of figures moving into the city. It's hard to tell from the distance, but it appears to be a couple of regular-sized, human-sized figures. One heavily robed, the other not so much. There's a couple of shorter, could almost be children from this distance,
Or goblins.
or goblins possibly. And then there's an entourage of human-ish sized and shaped figures that look like they might be an honor guard of some kind, and trailing at the very back, there looks like there's three litters being carried with figures on
The
them.
person who has an honor guard, do they look like they have flaming red hair? Sort of like they're made of fire.
One of them might possibly
Might
be,
possibly,
but it's
maybe
you
be,
know
okay.
it's it's hard to tell, and the sun's just coming up, so it might be a trick of the coloring of the sunrise.
The sacrifice has arrived.
So, unexpectedly, it looks like most of us actually made it all the way here. So I'm going to point to the entourage, and be like, so in that group, the other half of our party that split off, most of them are there, I think.
Great.
My best minion and Dragonbait, who I'm very fond of.
Dragon's not there.
is not-
Neither is
No.
neither is
Neither
Artis.
is Kairo.
Katarina told us.
Oh, that's right.
He's probably banned.
But I mean, we all survived this far. I didn't think that was going to happen.
That's true.
Go team!
Vampire.
I'd forgotten about the Dragonbait and Artist and Ricker.
So
We-
how do we get on the waterfall?
Or
We're
do we
just
want to wait
jumping.
and see what happens with the entourage?
They're moving into the city.
They
right?
are moving into the
Let's
city.
let's
yes.
wait and see where they go. That's
Yeah.
not a bad plan.
Enough
Okay.
to sacrifice before we get to them.
Then
I mean, if
There's
they're gonna get
a-
sacrificed at this point, as much as I hate to say it, I don't think there's
We're-
anything
I-
we can do
yeah.
from here. They are on the other side of the city.
Chop them into the lava. Yeah. So,
So how long are you guys going to stay and watch?
Just until that entourage disappears from sight. I want to get an idea of where I might find them in the city when we're in the city.
Okay.
ourselves as them and just really cause a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
It's like a great idea, but
So
Yeah, there's a bunch
as
of
you're
tabaxis
watching,
in there.
they
Can I
reach
just
the
disguise
head
myself
end
as
of
one of
that
the tabaxis?
street, that causeway on the west side
I have a disguise kit.
that runs north to south.
Uh-huh.
And then they pass behind buildings and pass out of sight.
Does it look like they're heading towards that walled compound thing?
I mean,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have a disguise kit.
the walled compounds
In the southwest?
in the southwest. No, actually, you catch glimpses of them every so often, but it seems like they're going to pass that by, and then after a little while, they disappear, and you don't really see where they go from there.
Okay. Good to know.
Well, let's go for it.
I like that you put a note on here, Braden. It marks where the black hole was.
Yep,
black hole.
that's what I saw.
In his vision.
Yeah, in his vision.
I had the same thought when I first read it. I was like, what?
Look at my paper.
All
Like
right,
your
so
sphere of annihilation.
Featherfall.
Yes.
We're
Shift your
gonna-
cameras, Keith. I just saw that we're cutting Lance in half. It's very unfortunate.
Pick a side.
Pick a side.
Any side.
Oh.
There we go.
Decide.
Look, you can
Um,
see Keith's face twice.
Oh no, I don't want to do that.
Oh. That's great.
DMception.
Wow. Nice.
No, that's worse. That's worse.
Just make it move.
Let's move.
There we go.
Everybody.
We're having some issues.
It's
Sorry.
Can I get you?
It's fine.
Please be
Okay.
patient with that.
That'd be
That
Okay.
should. That should
It'll
do
be
it.
This would also be
Okay.
a great place for any sponsored content. If you'd like to sponsor us,
Yes.
If you'd
Alright.
like to
Your
sponsor
content-
us, your content
could
be here.
D&D Beyond.
Please sponsor us, D&D Beyond. No.
Okay, so what's happening? What are you
Alright.
guys doing?
We're gonna
Rope,
okay.
yep,
I'm
rope
gonna
up.
Everybody to half.
I'm gonna tie people up since I probably know how
Since you have
to.
the most
Who's going?
Yes, I probably know how
first?
to tie people up because I do
I go
have
first.
Who's the strongest?
not me.
That would be me.
You get to go first.
Oh, okay.
Who's the next strongest?
First.
Not me.
First. Who's the next strongest?
I just got a +1, so I don't
I'm
care.
gathering this is a chain.
What do you?
Yes.
What's your strength?
Like negative.
What's yours, Carrie?
It's 0. It's like not plus. It's like 10.
Squish.
So it's like 10. I was
I'll
squish.
go- I'll go.
My
You're
strength
back.
is squish.
Oh, I got you.
We
Yeah.
got 2 anchors on one end each,
Yes.
so in theory, no matter what happens, one of you should be able to.
Spider's
Should
not
help
going
us.
to like
I'm
this.
also going to take a water bladder and like tie it around my shoulder just in case.
You have around your arm, it's like
Yes,
bright
yes,
orange
it's
floaties.
It's
Yeah.
my
If
orange
anybody
float.
needs inspiration to jump,
All right, so we're all
yeah,
tied together.
Bright
We're all chained up in between these
Yes.
two.
Yes.
Do we need to roll to see how well we can tie ourselves, or are we all capable of tying knots?
I
I
can
will
probably
give you that
tie
one.
knots.
That's fine.
Bright's good with string.
fight together, we die together.
Everyone, roll me an insight check real quick.
Yes.
Inside.
This is a
that was
terrible
good.
idea, and it's never gonna work.
That's
18.
19.
Minus or plus? That's plus. 16.
29.
Ding!
15.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Azaka is just sort of standing there staring at the
We'll
cataract
take her
going
with us.
over the edge of the
Oh,
water.
that's it. Yeah, so actually, that's a. You want to pitch that to her, or do you want someone else to, Braden?
You're a wordsmith.
Okay. Azaka,
Yes.
we would all understand if you would prefer to not continue forward with us. And just make your way back
You
out.
want to send her on her own?
She
I'm.
turns and runs into the trees, and that is
Yep.
Yep.
She is gone.
You
I
just sent her to die. You know that, right?
She has traveled through here before, but honestly, there's a really good chance we're all gonna die anyway.
But we died together.
Hey, don't start that.
She, I think,
I'm glad to make
she
it out of this.
prefers the
You would have like
forest
stayed on the
than-
cliff and provided Overwatch while we went down.
No.
How?
Yeah. How would
Fair,
we
I
get
think
back to
she's
her?
probably the most dangerous thing out there.
I guess I could message her.
But she's gone.
No, she's gone.
So,
Well,
I mean, is she like just getting away from the edge, or is she like bolted? Like, see you guys later. I'll pick up my payment back at Port Nyanzru.
Make a perception check.
Oh wait, yeah, we didn't pay her. So if we die, then she don't get paid.
11.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have
I got a nat 20.
Look at you.
So she did bolt far enough to get into the tree line and far enough back to be hard to see. And then she sort of just leaned against a tree, and she's leaned against it panting right now.
Do you tell the rest of us?
Yes.
What?
Okay, I think we should go over and talk with Azaka and figure out what she's going to do before we jump.
no, please. I have adrenaline pumping.
We're all tied together.
Yeah, so we're all coming.
We're all going.
Should we
Caterpillar.
provide if she would like some sort of a shelter, if that is possible?
I think she can fend for herself.
Yeah.
I just want to know what her plan is if she's, I just was going to tell her until she bolted that, like, none of us would blame you if you decide not to assault the city with just us.
I just don't know how we could get her out.
She might actually be able to find her way back on her own.
I do not doubt her
No.
ability to find the way. But my ability is what might fight her while she finds her way.
Well, and that's her call. She can choose to stay with us, and we'll do what we can for her, or if she'd rather. I'm just not going to assume she's ready to risk her life, because she's not dying.
No. I just think she should stay on top, provide Overwatch. We can message her, and then just keep an eye out till we get
It's
down.
kind of the
Not
same
really.
problem,
I
though.
could-
She'll
But
be
only,
able
once a night.
only
That's
150
it.
feet.
No, I
If
could speak
we're-
to her once a night.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What's
Anyway.
How big is the
50
one?
feet.
50 feet?
50 feet.
So I think either she needs to head back to port, or she needs to come with us. Staying up on top, then she's trapped up here on her
Yeah,
own.
yeah.
I mean, she does
It
have
doesn't really
autonomy.
help
We
us
can just
much
give her
either.
the choice.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, we'll let her
Yeah.
decide what she wants to do, but I think asking her to, like, provide Overwatch is a bad idea.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, until we get down on the ground.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, if she want, yeah.
But then she would have to look over the cliff, which I'm not sure she's.
I don't think she wants to
Anyway.
do that.
So
Okay.
we snake our way over, all of us.
In the middle.
And she looks up at you guys.
All tied together in this awkward
It's
caterpillar.
just odd. Well, we're probably standing in we're not standing in a line. We're probably standing in like a
Yeah.
circle around her.
You guys are something else, you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I've been called worse.
Something other than what?
Something else.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah?
Your call. If you want to go back to try and make your way back to port on your own, none of us would blame you.
We just want to know what your
We just
plan
want to know
is.
what your plan is, and we don't want to assume you're down to assault the city with just us.
I have been faced with so many high places on this expedition.
Yep.
It's given me something of a welcome.
Woo! Thank you, Zion Energy.
Pretty
Woot
welcome.
woot!
Woot,
2-month
woot,
anniversary.
I have been faced with so many
Emotes.
high places, and I don't do well with heights.
We
So
noticed.
I want to go with you guys. I want to support you guys for sure. I don't know if I can right now.
Anybody have a way to knock her out temporarily?
I have
course.
sleep.
Calm emotions.
Oh.
Sleep will
I
probably
have
knock one of us out.
Yeah, sleep will probably
Yeah.
not. It will knock Sploof out first
Well, but
because it targets whoever has the lowest hit
you
points.
can you choose
Yes.
to? Can you choose
I
to
believe
fail
you
it?
should. Well, I don't know if you
Or-
No, it
To-
affects
That's
hit
not the way
points.
it works.
No.
Affects
No,
hit points.
it affects hit
We've
points.
used that
Yeah.
to hilarious effect.
Yes.
at
Right,
certain
that's true.
points.
Wrong
That's true.
person.
Yes.
But you do see her. Clara reaches out and sort of puts a comforting hand on Azaka's shoulder, and you do see her sort of visibly pull herself together.
Not that it's the heights that she's worried about, not the zombie T-Rexes, not the zombie T-Rexes vomiting zombies. It's the heights that's the problem.
Yeah, the heights will get you.
I mean, in her defense, she did fall off a mesa
Yeah.
Fair
Well, she
point.
jumped off of me, so.
and then fell. Would it be easier if you have a blindfold?
Yeah, that's usually what happens. You jump.
I don't know if this is better when you don't know it's coming.
Possibly. I mean, it's worth a try.
Cool. We'll get her a
We will get you safely down.
blindfold.
Blindfold?
What happens after we're down? I think we'll die, but
I think we'll
Borrow
die.
I mean, there's a really good chance of that, but
Okay.
um,
All right.
how strong is Azaka? If I have memory recalls,
She's
she's pretty
pretty
strong.
Probably
Yeah,
stronger
she's
than most
pretty
of us.
strong.
Let's
Um,
put her in the middle.
Yeah, that's fine.
you can be tied next to me.
Yeah, she's pretty strong.
Right, we'll tie her on.
So from one end to one end, how long is this chain?
50 feet.
50 feet?
Yeah.
I mean, if you stretch the rope out to its maximum, that's as
Well,
far
the
as
rope
we can.
itself is
the
50
rope
feet, but you've got to
is 50
tie
feet.
it, so
we
it's
have to tie
probably
it, so it takes
True.
it's probably only half its normal.
Probably.
Okay, so 25 feet.
from one end to the other?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
I want to. I have the snake skin. I want to take about half of it, roll it up into a ball, and give it to Azaka so she can fit her claws into it, and not one of us.
That's actually not a bad idea.
I just made a great in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you look at her, and her nails are not long and claw-like right at the moment.
It hasn't been a full.
Yeah, but we also haven't jumped.
Yeah, we also,
Or a
yeah.
strap of leather if you'd like to put it between your teeth.
Not a bad idea.
So, are we going?
Yeah, as soon as we're ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, jump.
So now we should stop and camp for lunch and have a nice lunch.
I do not
Should have a
want
nice
lunch, Ty.
lunch
I like
connected.
food, not that much.
Connected right before we
Alright,
jump
Yes.
off a
So
cliff.
Yes.
who's at the front?
Do
You're,
some good
me.
bonding.
you're in the front. So,
And I'm in the back.
and you're in the back, and Azaka's in the center, and the
We're
rest of you are
interspersed.
What about
Interspersed.
sunshine?
I assume we attach Sunshine as well.
Okay. So Sunshine is
Sunshine
attached
can
as well.
also walk down.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
there's a
but
gargoyle.
gargoyles.
Yeah.
There's a gargoyle.
Will gargoyles attack a spider?
I assume gargoyles are going to attack. I mean, they
Attack living.
player knowledge, not character knowledge. They attacked a
Yeah.
ghost, a spirit that went down. So
Yeah.
Anything that moves down.
Not that anyone knows
don't
that,
gargoyles
but
have true sight?
I don't know, I don't think so.
Remember.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
So
So-
Smooth casts Featherfall. We get in the river.
It only works on some of us, I think.
It's an area, right?
Oh, it's up to like what, 10 people?
I think it's only up to 5. I can look it up so fast.
5 creatures descend 60 feet per round per
and it
duration.
requires concentration.
Yes.
yes.
But
You cast
we're all
it on the
tied
back.
together, so
Everybody else free falls?
So
Would
if
that help if some people were falling at a slower
So if
rate
we
and in
do-
theory the
Every
rope?
other person?
would it
sort of
slow?
helped us?
I'm
What is-
How
small,
that works.
so I can attach myself to someone who's falling
I'm also
slower.
small. Or well,
I
I'm
said, what do you like every
medium,
other
but
person?
Yeah, well, and I just don't know, Keith. Would the spell help if it was every other person, and since we're
yeah.
tied so closely together, that would help slow everybody else?
I'm gonna say that you would get some benefit from it, but not the full benefit. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be falling slower than you would if it was free fall, but faster than just.
Are we gonna take the full 5d
You
whatever
won't take
damage?
the full 5. You'll probably.
Because then we get you unconscious.
There might be some damage involved.
I
We'll
might
have to see.
suggest that everyone roll to their falls.
In the water?
Tied to each other?
Where's so what
Yes.
is
Could only
the
go
what
well.
is, what is the order of the what is the order of the thing? Or who's where in this line
You're in
of
the back?
rope?
You're in the front.
Front.
He's in the back. Kazaka's in the middle. We're all interspersed.
Where's
Yeah.
where's Sloof? Where would you be?
Probably right next to a really strong person. So
Yeah.
if he
Probably
slips out or
next
something,
to-
can just reach over and grab him.
Yeah,
next to-
Nyx as well.
because I'm not gonna bother casting it on myself because I'm small. So I'm just gonna ride on the back of somebody big.
Right.
because that seems to be how I roll.
So Keith, I have a physics question.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, indeed.
Well, math.
Oh, physics.
So if the water at the bottom is deep enough, and I'm assuming it is, because otherwise this doesn't matter. So you know if you're going to jump into water from really high up, you want to throw something down first to break surface tension. Is the waterfall doing that?
Mythbusters did that. It didn't work.
Yeah, that's a fallacy. Doesn't
Well,
it?
Yeah.
and also, if that was going to work, then the waterfall would be doing it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
breaking its own surface tension.
And if not, we got greater.
No, I can solve this entire thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take my short sword and cut the rope in half,
Okay.
and remind everyone that I have a charm of feather falling.
Oh!
Oh.
Wait, why did you...
Malad yet?
Wait, don't
why
cut
did
the rope
you,
in half.
Yeah, why would you cut the rope in half?
It's already done.
But why did you cut the rope in
So
half?
then there's this section of people that I'll take, and then there's this section of people Sploof will
I
take.
mean, we had more ropes, but that works too.
Yeah, we can tie the rope back together.
I'm just glad you
It's
remembered.
a rope.
I can also mend it if we need to. It's
We
not-
should, because the point of the rope is so that we didn't get
Get
separated upon
separated.
hitting the water at the
Yes.
bottom. Because like if someone's able to stop right at the first barrier, like rock or something, and somebody else goes past, they're gone. So if we have two separate groups and with two different ropes, potentially we'll get separated into two groups and won't be able to meet
Is that
back
okay?
up.
I can cast mending, and we can.
He likes a lot of words, so if you want to mend that together.
That's a lot of work.
Done.
Okay.
Okay, so the rope is now back together.
Okay, I think we're set.
This is such a bad idea. Let's
Yep.
do it
Of
quickly.
All right,
No
so
hesitation, because once he goes, we all got.
Yep.
so featherfall,
Yep.
and
That should
you
cover
step
us
off.
all.
Hold on.
I think we step into the river.
No.
Yeah, we're gonna
So-
step
and
into
then
the
go
river,
One
and
question about the
then-
token of Featherfall. It says it has 10 days after activation. Does it now that permanent on whoever 5 I cast it on?
Dude.
10 days of featherfall in case you're falling for 10 days.
Yeah.
Like
Now
every
that's just
time
a
you jump.
stipulation that I would like to know. Because
Somebody
I-
falls off something in the
You
plane of
find-
air.
Let me
It's
look
like-
for
Yeah.
C.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's one
I think I would
stipulation
just
I
get
didn't
it over
know
with.
of.
Right?
Yeah.
Would you ever hit the ground though?
No, but you would hit terminal velocity.
Would you?
Oh, yeah, if you fell for
Yeah.
long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're answering the hard questions tonight on
So
this stream.
This
Yeah,
farm
'cause
brings
science.
The benefit of
Science.
the ring of featherfall. These
Segment is brought
benefits
to you by
last for 10
science.
days.
So
So I guess if
Portal.
they have to
Yeah.
jump off of anything, they jump slow.
I mean, not that slow, but yeah.
It's just falling.
It's just fun.
The Mario fall.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
It only
what?
works on one person? 'Cause it's a
it
ring of
only
featherfall.
works on one person.
Oh.
So it only works for you.
I mean, that's still
But
something.
yes, if you use it, you gain featherfall for 10 straight days.
So we'll have 6 out of
What, 8?
9.
Every time you jump.
6 out of 9
How-
people will be feather falling.
6,
6 of 9, yes.
Yes.
So if I'm one of the anchors, that will help. And if Sploof picks everyone, every other person.
Right, that should help
2 people.
mitigate it.
Or
Yeah.
2 people.
3 people.
So I've helped us a
And
bit.
hopefully landing in water from 50 feet up won't hurt as bad as landing on the ground. Assuming it's deep
Now I
enough.
have to keep track of the days.
You've been keeping track of days anyway.
Yeah. I gotta keep
Alright,
track of
so
4 days.
we step into the water.
Okay, step into the water.
So that's why you kept your
And
Because it's only for you.
I need everyone to make me a strength check.
Wait, just plain strength?
Just a plain
That's gonna
strength
go
check.
real well.
Oh, it helps if you actually roll it in the thing. Oh my gosh, that's a nat 20.
From Sploof.
Yeah.
From the
Seventeen.
one of the squishiest
17.
people in the party.
Athletics check.
Made it.
That's
No,
amazing.
strength.
8?
Just a strength check.
Not 18, just 8.
Oh, 8?
Oh.
No, that's a failure.
6.
Yeah, I got like a 6, so
That's a
also
failure.
You're
16.
Rolled a 9.
That's a failure.
Wow.
9.
That's a failure. And Sploof with your natural 20.
Are we the
Wait.
only 2 that made it?
I couldn't make an acrobatics check, could I, instead?
No.
I don't even know what we're making a strength check for falling.
Yeah.
Bludgeoning damage of water.
No, it's keeping your feet in the fast-moving river.
Oh, that's.
So all.
Oh,
of your,
I wasn't even trying to keep
No,
my feet in the
no.
fast moving river.
No, no?
Remember-
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
I
no,
wasn't
okay.
trying to like run through the river and jump off. I figured the water's gonna take me off the
Okay.
edge.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that
that's-
is exactly what happens.
Yeah, that's what.
So you guys step into the river. Your feet are out from under you, and you're. Have any of you been through rapids just wearing the
Yep.
Yep.
life vests?
Yep.
That's what you guys are doing.
Yep.
You're banana
Woohoo!
rafting
Yep.
down this river.
Yep.
Ooh, that's fun.
That's lots of rocks.
Yeah.
That is.
So
Ow.
banging and bumping off of things. And
My armor is gonna
Elias,
chafe something
you
fierce
are
after this.
the first one to get to the falls, and you just go sailing right off.
It's
You
like
feel
a water
the rope
slide,
go taut
but better.
behind you, and then it slacks off, and the next one in line feels it go taut, and you just it's like a string of pearls coming right down coming right over the edge, until finally, Meyer, you're the last one there. You think for just a split second about trying to stop this headlong stupidity, and then realize that's probably not a good idea, and you tuck your arms and legs in, and you go over the edge.
Yeah, because at this point, cutting the rope would do you so much good.
So you guys, I'm
You
going home.
guys splash down into the pool at the bottom, and it's chaos. The roiling water, the aeration. You can't see what's happening. You feeling the rope sort of twirling around you and getting bound up against you, and you feel it pull taut and then bunch up and pull taut and bunch up, and it's not that long, but it feels like eternity before you guys pop up and sort of bob to the surface, and you look around and you see that everyone is there.
Go team.
The current is taking you towards that very first structure at the base of the base of the waterfall.
Oh, right there.
The big one that's covered?
Yeah,
the small one?
sort of
The one with the wall?
the one with the wall around
Okay,
it.
okay.
I am casting, as soon as I can get my hands free, I'm casting Water Walk on everyone.
Okay,
Ooh.
Nice.
so that comes into effect. How many people can you?
10.
10? Okay, so you can get everybody with that one spell.
And as fast as we can, let's get inside that courtyard.
Did we take any damage from the fall?
Let me see. Yes. You all suffered 1 point of bludgeoning
Oh,
damage.
that's
That was
worse.
not
That's-
bad.
Yeah.
And you continue to slow, like every time you take a step, your foot just falls slowly.
Yep.
For 10 days.
Yep.
All right.
So yeah,
you guys
fast
are,
as we can inside that wall so nothing can see us.
Okay.
So where this wall?
Yeah.
And I have my shield out in case there's things I have to clear. Shield and sickle. Actually, I'm
Alright.
sickle, just
So you guys sort of
How did Azaka do?
I'm impressed no one threw up on the way down.
I might have.
Well, I definitely.
Azaka certainly did.
Oh, I was
Azaka
so
may accidentally be just sort of being dragged along on the rope.
We just have to keep it tight so that
Yeah.
she's held up.
Oh,
So as you guys are trudging, so there's 2 lines of you with the rope, and you guys are trudging forward on top of the water, dragging Azaka
Azaka.
behind you because she is unconscious. She's just sort of floating on top of the water behind you guys. Everybody make me a perception check, real quick.
Perception.
I usually don't.
18.
16.
oh, but these are not bad. 17. Even with a -1, that didn't suck. This dice is like
Okay, so what?
18?
18,
28.
28,
10.
10.
17. Oh,
Okay.
To get a one?
So Gideon and Bright missed them, but for the rest of you guys, as you round the gate,
There's just kobolds standing on the edge of the water, and one of them just is like,
as you guys round the gate into the courtyard, you see crocodiles wallowing in the muddy lake bed,
oh dear.
no.
which rise from the walled ruin.
Kind of feel like
Two
this
columns
is the least of our
flank the
worries.
entrance, carved with an image of a long-legged bird with a needle-like beak. At the building's front, slimy steps ascend to an entryway arch.
Go, 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 go.
Should we clear out the crocodiles?
No.
I'd rather they follow us into the house and we kill them in there.
Or we use them as
This is
natural
basically ground.
protection.
Well, right, but I want to get under cover.
Oh,
I don't want anything to see us.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It was bad enough that they potentially saw us falling and hitting the water.
I'm cutting the rope.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
cutting the rope, and what are you guys doing?
Bolt.
Bolting
Getting to
into the building
We
and
have to
then
do it.
setting up to
Okay.
fight him.
Cool.
Yeah, Azaka.
We have to carry Azaka.
I got her.
I help.
All right.
The two dwarfs.
Yeah.
The two dwarves are carrying the cat,
Two dwarves as
or
long as
the not cat.
The
the
Then
red
as
tiger.
we're
The guy-
running,
The
I'm
red tiger?
casting Spirit Guardians to slow them.
Nice.
All right. They, all four of them, sort of look at you guys as you pass, but
They don't care.
They don't seem to care all that much.
So maybe I'm not casting Spirit Guardians then. Because that will make them care real fast.
Okay.
I quickly noticed the architecture of all place.
Who built this?
All right. So
Fire
it
with
is.
Desiree,
It is
you'd
built
say.
in Old Omen, or it's
All
built
moving in.
Old Omen,
Okay.
however you say that. But it's the same type of architecture that pervades the rest of the city. Although it does seem to be a little bit younger, maybe, than some of the surrounding structures. Not by much.
So
If you had to
this was
guess,
barely put up. The last brick was placed in before the whole city pooped.
no, it was a little bit more. It was a little bit before that, but it would have been in the last 10 to 15 years that the city, before the city
Okay.
became abandoned.
Those cheap condos, they were just going up everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, so just looking from top, I don't. This is player looking down. But does it look like a church where the statue is up front? Is this some sort of a religious structure?
That would make sense.
As he consults
Well.
his tomes.
It's interesting you should ask that.
Uh-huh.
Because there is a plaque over the arched entryway as you guys enter the building, but it's not a language that any of you know.
Tabaxis don't have a language.
Oh, that's right.
No.
You sure about that?
And nobody has like the
Fairly
Nobody
certain.
speaks ancient Omu.
nobody has anything that is a language
You were the
to
only one
decipher
who might have
things.
something that would decipher it.
Not this
Bards
character.
can have it too.
No, that's true.
What?
Comprehend languages.
Oh,
But I don't.
Oh,
I doubt
think
anyone
I do.
chose it.
I can tell you
I-
who did.
Fire.
Yep.
Fire.
Didn't you
But
copy it?
I copied his stuff. Maybe
All
I
of
just
it?
missed that
You
one.
did not have enough to copy all of his stuff. 'cause
Oh,
he had
okay.
A lot of spells.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, he did have it. I think.
And
it was
I don't think
second level
anyone
spell.
would blame you for thinking that that wasn't a useful spell to take. at the
That's
time.
fair.
Yeah.
I don't even
This
remember how I
character
picked the
doesn't
ones
have
that
it.
he had given me.
Other character does.
Oh no, it's only level 1. But yeah, he had it as a ritual.
It's a surprisingly useful spell.
Yeah.
All right. So.
I think we should, as soon as we're inside and on solid ground, try and just stop and wait for a minute to catch our breath and see if it sounds like anything noticed us.
Are there any like windows on the inside to look out of?
Doesn't seem to be.
Okay.
So the structure seems to be fairly solid stone.
Are we able to get, is the inside mostly out of the water from where we entered?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so it's
It's
just
pretty
above
empty.
the water level.
So we take a look around. What do we see?
As you move past the entrance and into sort of the foyer, you do see moss clinging to stonework throughout the hall. There's a mosaic floor, and it depicts a tall bird using its long, pointy beak
to pin what looks like a frog with tentacles coming out of its shoulders.
Yes, a young Cthulhu.
Set into the far wall
Baby
is a set
Cthulhu.
of heavy stone doors.
Okay then.
Right.
Alright, so...
Is this at the back or is it appear to be like halfway?
So we know this is a church,
with the
right?
extension.
We have no idea.
I
Yeah.
can. That's part of my architect thing. I get to know what the purpose of this building was.
That's kind of cool.
That is cool, actually.
This is the first time this has come in handy.
This
Because-
is
Yeah.
actually useful.
I'm in my element. This is my city.
This is my thing, bitches.
So what exactly is it are we looking for in the city? We don't know what is causing the curse.
Is it
I
a
might
thing,
know
a
what we're
person?
looking for.
What are we looking for?
There's apparently there could be like some stone cubes.
Oh, you mean roughly this big?
Yes.
However, did she know?
1 second, guys. I will be right back. Speak among yourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, stone
roughly
cubes.
this big.
So this place kind of looks like a shrine.
Yeah, roughly that
Something
big.
religious significance.
I'm probably because of the mosaic on the floor.
Anyway.
and depicting a.
These, and there's like, it's like there's like 9 and there's circle and
Great. Only 9. It's
there's like
Nine
9
cubes.
platforms.
Yeah, player
Anyway,
brain
and
knows
there's-
what these are, but yeah.
Player Lance knows what these are too.
These are what are they called from Star Wars?
No, the hologram,
Knowledge.
holocrons.
Holocron. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
There's
He's got a map.
Oh boy!
Oh
Oh dear. Oh
Move
dear.
everything.
Knew we were coming in here. Oh, it's a blank.
No,
map.
he
No,
didn't.
blank.
It's blank. I will have to draw as we go.
Probably.
I was not prepared, guys. I did not expect for you to get this far.
We apologize
into
for
the-
our.
You didn't expect for us to survive the waterfall?
He didn't expect us to jump, probably.
no, probably.
I don't know why he didn't. That
Well,
is not
okay,
out
but-
of our.
Not out of our.
But
We
then
have
he's
done that
like,
more than
oh, let's jump. And
So,
We get into trouble and we jump
What
off
could
of
you play
things.
with?
That is what we do.
yes.
That is kind of inherently who we are.
Okay.
If you don't understand that by now, get out.
wait, is this
Not really. We like that you're here.
Of
So,
course.
as a side note, does anyone remember if the Oracle told us what we were looking for in Omu? I can't remember.
I don't think
I don't remember either.
That might have been where my notes
I
ended.
don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
Oh, we were just.
I don't think-
I thought we were just
'cause I
looking for
wrote
like
down-
a great evil or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she.
Well,
she
I
didn't
mean-
say she just said stuff about like Rasmusi, and stuff like that. I don't think we were given any information like that.
Yeah, I
that's what
don't
I
think
thought.
we were given
Yeah.
a lot of information about.
Cause no one can scry on Omu, so no one knows
Yeah.
what's going on.
So it's more
Well, no,
the-
no one can scry in Schult. No one can scry in Schult. Remember that
Yeah.
was the beginning. So.
Oh yeah.
Plenty of people at the school. Oh, I'm not hired.
So this
Alright.
is what we see.
So that is the room that you see. Yes.
And you know that this is a shrine.
Yes.
Okay.
Probably to that, and I point to the floor with the hair.
So, is this the type of shrine that, like, we should be really careful and maybe leave now? Or, like, is this a safe place to stay?
I'm not sure. I don't know what god this is of.
I'm going to roll the bones. We are planning to stay here. Is this a good course of action, a bad course of action, or neither?
Most feared spell of all DMs.
Augury.
So you're rolling your bones.
Roll.
And-
roll your bones.
On
Jumping
mosaic
off the
tiles.
Yeah, I was saying, on the bows. Clattering, 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 clattering.
As they roll, you see two of the longer, thinner pieces cross over each other for a second, but then bounce free of each other into exactly parallel lines. You recognize both of those signs, and they contradict each other. One says yes, the other says no.
Which is
So wheel and woe for both good and bad results.
Yes.
Shall we venture further in?
You gotta tell us what you learned.
I don't really know. I didn't get much except that this is probably both good and bad.
Kind of wondering if the whole city isn't gonna tell you that.
You guys,
Yes.
you're a Chilton. Do you know what the heron?
The heron? Do you know what heroin is?
Do I know what heroin
The
is?
heron is.
Do I know
The
what
bird.
heroin is ever?
No, well, every time I look at that word, I can never tell what it says because it's
Great
such a
blue
weird
heron.
It's
Heron
an
marked
an
blade.
Ibli.
and Ibli.
An Ibli. Yeah.
You
Nice.
actually would not have any knowledge of this particular
Okay.
symbology.
These
Okay.
things.
What?
These things.
I'll check the door for traps.
Good plan.
This
Make
seems
an
like a good
investigation
idea.
check.
Bardic inspiration.
So,
Thank you.
do
Yay!
you think it'd be better if we move? You think it'd be better if we stay?
I mean, I could petition both my god and the god of this place and see if they would be offended by our presence. I don't know that they would answer.
14?
Can always try.
You don't see anything. You don't see any evidence of traps on the door. You do also notice it's not even the set of doors is not even blocked.
But the mosaic tiles are just one big trap.
Detect magic.
Thank you.
What's the
30 feet.
30 feet.
30 feet? But you have to be able to see it.
Yes.
Yeah? You do not detect any magic in the room you're standing in.
Is everyone ready for me to open the door?
There are no magics
I'm
here.
gonna move to the side of the room and get ready.
Yeah.
I will join you at the door.
Yeah.
Good luck. Don't die.
Yep.
I'm
I
going
say-
to
I
prepare
say
a
prayer to
fireball.
a god I don't believe in. And I push open the doors.
What is your strength?
I can't decide if
Uh,
prayer to a
16.
god you don't believe in is respectful or disrespectful.
Do I have to roll for it?
No, you don't have to roll for it.
Oh.
They're pull, not push.
It's not that.
They're just really
You're
heavy.
gonna need assistance.
I'll help.
I will help you, but
I got a 13.
What is your strength?
0.
No, the actual
Oh,
score.
the actual score.
Is this strength or
10.
athletics?
Just strength. 10?
Head.
I got a
Okay,
13.
so Sploof joins you at the door, and between the two of you,
Oh.
you're able to push them open.
I believe it was me.
Yes,
You
you believe
listened
it was
to one.
completely.
I mean, rightfully so, perhaps.
Yes.
Meanwhile, the DM must draw more things.
Now I really want to make a dungeon that's just full of doors that are either push or pull, and there's no way to tell the difference, and that's the dungeon.
That's the
That'd be
dungeon.
awesome.
That's going in the
Well, I
insurance
figured
game.
if I did the entire dungeon like that, someone would get pissed off and just leave.
But
I
they
mean,
couldn't,
I
because
mean-
they'd always get the wrong
there's
direction.
nothing at the
I've been
end.
here
It's
for
a labyrinth
1,000
of
years.
doors.
And there's
Some of them
nothing
you have
else.
to push like on the
so-
side, like it's a rotating door, so you push in the middle and it does nothing.
Some
No,
of them
it's
are
just
like the
like-
sliding ones, but if you get them off the tracks, they won't go anywhere. So you have to make sure you keep them on on the rails and slide
I've
them.
been
in.
here for 10,000 years because to be fair, I made the doors, but I don't remember which one's which, so I've been stuck here for 10,000 years.
garage door ones. Yeah.
You're welcome to all
Yeah.
the viewers
Just knock
for
every
all of
freaking
these
door.
golden ideas.
Uh-huh.
If you're DMs.
Alright then. What do we see before?
Alright.
A stone cube.
Stone cube.
And there's animals watching it.
An
And
empty
there's
pedestal
people animals.
stands in the middle of the chamber. 6 statues face it from alcoves in the walls. They depict bare-chested humans with the heads of different animals.
Oh, yep.
From left
Yeah.
to right, the heads resemble those of a lizard, a jaguar, a lobster, a toucan, a bat, and a frog.
Uh-huh.
If no one is opposed, I could say a prayer and see if whatever deity perhaps might still.
What's the thing in the middle?
So that's the pedestal. So there's a
Empty.
pedestal in the
And it's
in the
just
room.
empty.
It's empty. It does have writing on it that matches what you saw outside.
That nobody can read. Yep.
Go for it.
Talk to God. I'd like to see this.
Let's hope centipedes don't come streaming out of something. That's
God
nice.
doesn't like me.
Yeah, maybe you should just
There's many gods.
be quiet.
So perhaps referring in the singular is not your wisest course of action. And
Fair
I'm going
enough.
to go ahead and get down on my knees and place my shield in front of me and place my sickle upon it and bow my head as a sign of respect. And I will say, oh God of whatever this temple is, we cannot read your language. Your script is unknown to us. But we do wish to pay you respect. We would like to know if we might safely be able to stay here while we seek to remove whatever stain of evil is on this city. Amen.
So you just sang a prayer?
Yeah, basically just saying a prayer.
Or?
It's-
Oh,
Are we
Yeah.
dead yet?
Yeah.
no, unfortunately.
This can only go well!
This is really terrible because we know, but we don't know.
Yep.
Spoof has concerns. Last time I started questioning God, I got a whole
Yeah,
room
so
full
maybe
of
maybe you should
centipedes.
just leave the questions to other people.
Leave it to the wordsmiths.
So
Yes.
you are more familiar with this religion thing than I am, apparently.
I have had a little bit of experience throughout our journey.
So say the centipede god. Would the centipede god send me centipedes because he liked me, or because he didn't like me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you get anything?
No, not anything per se. Laughter usually is not a good answer to a prayer.
Was it
Uh,
like
Oh.
evil cackling
Wait,
laughter?
what?
Or like laughing at you because you're making a joke?
I don't think I made a joke. So
Right, but maybe the deity thinks you did.
I do not know.
And you just said a prayer?
Yes, I don't know what you want from me.
Okay.
That was as good
Maybe
as
we're
I
not
thought.
safe here.
I don't think anything in this city is safe.
Frankly, I do not
Maybe they
believe so.
require sacrifice.
Your call whether you think we should stay here or not, Clara. There were other buildings, but we'd have to try and swim to them without being seen.
Or there are nearby buildings.
I'm going to take a rubbing of the
Good.
Language.
the language
On the
thing.
table.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, in here we may be at least partially safe from an army of invading undead.
I mean, that's what
I
I'm
think
thinking.
we'll be okay, maybe.
Can I do like an investigation around the room of whatever this room is
Okay.
supposed to be of?
Sure.
Natural 20.
Okay then.
Oh, one of these!
I'm somehow very familiar with this.
I've dealt with one of these before.
Alright, so it is a shrine.
Sophomore year of
Obviously.
archaeology school.
You're guessing that it's probably to whatever that bird thing is. The bird motif is carrying through quite nicely into this room. You're not sure about the animal heads at all. In the top of the pedestal, you do discover the outline of a stone hatch on the upper surface.
Does anyone by chance have any feathers that we might put onto the pedestal?
I
as
was
well?
about to
I
reach
might
my
have
hand out. I was
Say
like, I'm
hat.
not Scritch
What do you
anymore.
mean?
Um,
Like,
I
I
have.
up
even
hatch
have
or
It looks
I would
like it
probably have
would
some.
open, but there doesn't seem to be any way to open it.
I have to have a feather.
And that's on the pedestal?
On
Oh,
the pedestal, yes.
Might
Um,
I borrow that?
Nix asks, is the writing abyssal?
No.
No.
Sorry, Nick.
Good thought though.
Good thought.
because I know that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Keith, there were no other doors besides these two big ones we opened, right?
Not that you've seen, no.
I'm thinking maybe we camp in the
Atrium.
atrium thing
Yeah.
so that we
Without
don't risk.
defile. Yes,
Yeah.
of course. I think that is wise.
Do you want the feather?
DM's
Yes,
mic is
please.
low compared to the others.
Yeah, I just saw.
Okay.
I'm going to go and take the feather proffered by Maya, and I'm going to place it reverently upon the pedestal.
Okay.
And then, say. I hope that was what you were implying. The giggle was a little difficult to understand. Nothing.
Nothing happens.
Perhaps I will tickle the face of one of these things.
Oh dear. Oh dear, this is where we die.
Yes.
Okay, so which
I
one
love
did
the
you go?
fear with which you tickle.
Which one do you go to?
Let's see. Remind me. There was
do the bird one.
There was a lizard,
not lizard.
Jaguar.
jaguar, lobster, toucan.
No, toucan was the middle one.
Okay.
No. I don't think so.
Lobster was this.
There was also a frog, and then there was one I can't remember. Don't do the frog.
Yeah, probably the bird.
Yeah, do the bird.
So it was a lizard, a jaguar, a lobster,
Toucan.
a toucan, a bat, and a
Bat.
frog.
Probably the toucan. I will take the feather and
Okay.
lightly tickle its left cheek.
Nothing
I
happens.
feel really dumb, guys, but I don't know what else to do.
You look kind of dumb too, but it was fun.
We'll just camp in the atrium and try not to piss off whatever owns this place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we should close the doors.
Yes, definitely.
Those are heavy doors.
Yeah.
I'm fine with just leaving them open for a minute. I want to kind of look in this
Oh,
room
we can
for
leave
a
them open
while.
for a minute, but like before we go
Yeah,
anywhere,
before we go to
we
bed.
should probably close
Yeah.
them just to be on the safe side.
Okay.
Outside, I'm gonna go over by the entrance and just sort of peek out. Does it look like we have alerted the city?
Make me a perception check.
Because these have been going so well.
Bardic inspiration.
11.
Oops,
It does not appear as though you have alerted the city to your presence.
Just the crocodiles. By going back outside. As soon as they're hungry. Crocodiles probably
So-
can't open doors.
So when you prayed, you heard a bit of laughter, correct?
A laughter and something, perhaps a feather touched my cheek. That's why I thought perhaps. I don't know.
Spliff, can you put up like a mini castle to fit in this space?
Don't think so.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
That's how it works.
How tall is the atrium thing? And the other room? Because if they're 2 stories,
Mm-hmm.
then in
It's not
theory-
that tall. It's only about 10, maybe 15 feet tall.
I could like giving it a try.
I'm just wondering, like, when you put the castle, it's like at the certain height, or is it up to?
It takes up a certain amount of space, and I think it
Yeah.
pushes anything out of the way.
Yeah.
We definitely
So
don't want to break the temple.
yeah.
No, the only decent thing we could maybe do is cast it.
Can we cast it sideways?
No, I was thinking cast it in the water in the shallows so that only the first level's above the water and hope nobody notices a new building. But I'm not super keen on that idea, but if we were gonna do it, that's how we would want to do it.
Can we make the castle look like part of this building?
I mean, we could.
I mean, we
I'm
did
still
make it look
I'm
like
still not a
this.
fan of doing
Let's
it though,
not do
because
it.
I
potentially, you know.
feel like it would stand
Can I
out too
take
much.
a look at the statues?
Does anyone want to carry a
Because you said that the
crocodile on the
hatch
back
needed something
inside?
to open it, right? Can I see if I
Oh.
can find anything
It could
that
be
the statues may be holding or have
Oh.
that might
Temple
be
of
able
Doom
to
all over.
open the hatch?
Make me an investigation check.
Look at you.
look at the
Bardic!
Thank you.
Okay. Oh. Wait, was that a D6 or a D8?
A D8.
Oh, okay, looks like 6.
Mine's only a
13.
D6.
13.
So.
Not that you find. I mean, they all look like they're solid. They all look like, one piece, and don't look like they have any like hidden levers or moving anything that you can see.
Yeah, take my warhammer and kind of tap on
No,
it.
no.
Can I
We're also not
roll
peeing on any statues.
I was thinking that too.
Can I roll an Arcana or history to know anything about like these statue things or
Because this is so far out of your experience,
No?
that's a
Okay.
no.
that's
While they're all doing this, I would like to go sit in the corner and summon
Cry.
my sword. And with trying to be real sneaky about it.
Which corner?
I don't know. This corner.
This is where we go.
Oh, so okay, so
Not in the big room,
Not
in
in the
this
big room?
in the
Okay.
atrium.
all right. So he summoned your
Without
sword.
anyone noticing, so really subtly, I'm going to try and talk to my sword.
Wow.
In
Yeah.
the corner,
What
talking
are you
so
gonna
so
say?
many
What are you gonna say?
It's like, okay. So we're here. We don't know what the hell we're doing. We have no clue what we're doing. So, if you had any great advice.
You feel a little tug on the sword.
Okay.
Tug it on your sword.
You want to point the
In
way,
the corner.
show me where
In
we're
the
going.
corner.
Yanks your arm back into the main room.
Oh dear.
This is going to be Inigo Montoya.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what I do. I'm just gonna be like, all right, you
I'm
direct me, and I'm just gonna walk in and like a dowsing rod, just.
And it leads you to the bat.
The bat.
The bat statue.
Gideon.
And as the sword gets close to the bat, it starts to cast a shadow into the alcove behind it. And in the alcove, or in the shadow, in the alcove, there suddenly appears a crawlway that was not there before.
Look. Hallway.
Look at what?
Yeah.
It's
I
bad.
look.
No, behind the bat.
I look behind the bat,
There's a crawlway. It's a little low tunnel that you can crawl
as
through.
in like I could crawl through.
Yeah, any of you could crawl through it. Now that you know
This
it's
is where
there.
we're all going to die because someone sat in the corner with their sword tugging.
Hey, nobody else was out there with me. You guys just saw me wandering with my sword like a dowsing rod.
Yeah, well, if I'm going out,
I have
I'm
strong
going out
magic.
on adventure. I'm gonna go through.
Yeah. I'll go through too.
Oh, this is such a bad idea.
This whole thing was one big bad idea.
Yeah, we did just jump off of a waterfall.
Are there any
so-
good
We just
ideas
trapped
at this
ourselves in a
point?
city full of
No.
nastiness.
I'll cover the rear.
Yeah, we just jumped.
He's tugging on his sword while you cover his rear.
Oh, the things.
Yes.
And we all know that ancient Omuians love symmetry.
Cemetery.
I like the way you said that. Symmetry.
Cemetery.
It sounded so tasty.
Tasty.
Symmetry is yummy.
All
I
right.
mean, I like cemetery. Okay, I'm an artist, so
Crawling, crawling, crawling.
cemetery's good.
This is such a bad idea.
So
You don't have
bad.
to come.
No, I'm coming.
We're pretty committed at this point.
And 12 years later, I got it.
God, dirty minded.
Sword tugging, covering your rear. I'm coming.
I'd like to apologize that we all just became 12-year-old boys for you guys. Sorry about
For
that.
yourselves.
Okay, that this half of everybody became.
Yeah.
This is why we're friends.
Yes.
Can't take them anywhere.
Nope. Sure can't.
Lance.
Okay.
Turn your head.
again.
He's gonna mess with your minds.
Your head looks so much bigger in that one camera.
I know, it's
Yeah.
really weird.
It's weird.
No, you do that again.
Angles are fun.
Yes.
Kyrie looks a lot bigger than me in most shots.
Right.
Like, actually, I'm significantly larger than she is.
Sorry.
Are you alright?
Harper.
Oh.
You need something?
I'm good. Actually, I already took something. It's
Oh.
just continue.
Oh?
Like the retcon.
I would like to retcon. I'm going to step back for just 1 second. Sploof.
Yes.
Your rubbing of the the message on the base of the pedestal.
Yeah.
Sorry. It is. It is
we can
actually.
say that's happening the same time we find those.
It's actually. Yeah. It's actually written in common.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, so I can all read it.
We rewind.
Comes with sunshine, leaves with night, hides in darkness, does not bite, always joined to its caster, never strays from its master.
Darkness. Oh, shadow.
Light.
Shadow.
Light.
So I don't actually have this handout to give to you guys, so I'm going to let you guys see it in the book. It does not give away what you're supposed to do. It is handout 16. As you enter that little room, that is what you see.
Sorry, guys, you don't get to see
Yeah,
this.
sorry, you don't get to see this.
All right.
Spoilers.
Comes with sunshine, leaves with night.
That's
Hides
the,
in darkness.
that was the rubbing.
No, I understand. I'm just
Yeah.
reading it for myself.
Puzzle key.
Did you say it was a tile mosaic?
It is a tile mosaic on the wall.
I'm
Can I just? I'm gonna take a picture of that for my own.
gonna
Would
take
you
like
do so and then send
a
it to me
sketch
and
of
maybe
it.
we can put it up
Okay.
on Discord.
Yes.
What do you mean
Yeah.
take a sketch of it? It's
Oh yeah.
No, she's literally going to take a
No, I
picture.
mean no, I mean like why are you taking a sketch of it if it's just a bunch
Because
of
we can then see it here, so he can have his book, and we can put it to Discord
No,
so
no.
they can see
Gideon is taking a sketch of it in case it comes in handy later.
it. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
We're in a place with a riddle, and this is an obscure clue. It doesn't take a genius, thankfully, to figure this out.
Yes.
You guys good with all of that?
Yeah.
Could you post that to Discord so I can
Yes, I am
So-
posting that in the gaming section.
I just put the link up.
All right. So that is what you see
In the room.
in the room.
Nope.
Is
wrong.
that like on the wall or the floor?
It's etched into the far wall.
Okay. And there's nothing else in the room?
Nothing else in the room.
How? Oh,
It's a small room. It's less than 10 by 10.
So we're kind of cramped in there right now.
Yeah, it's very cramped
Yeah.
right now.
so
So
In the first room, the mosaic floor, does it move?
No.
So in the at the end of the crawl space, what is it? Just like it? Is it a room with tiles? Is it?
Yeah, it's just a small stone room. Looks like it was built as part of the building when the rest of the building was being built.
In the top left-hand corner, is that a blank spot or is that a tile? I can't tell in the picture.
In the what? The
In
top.
left hand. Is
top.
that a tile?
Yeah, it's a tile.
Okay, just
It-
a
it's
darker
just a
tile.
darker tile.
Okay.
from my years of experience of being a person that goes in and does this kind of stuff, do I know what this would be?
You got nothing.
Okay.
And there are no squares or anything like that in the room that we're in.
What do you mean squares? Like,
Aside from the tile itself.
yeah, aside from the tile itself.
Okay.
So if I were to go back to like where the mosaic out here
Mm-hmm.
is it the same dimensions?
No.
I'll explain later. This is
It's not
this is
pertaining
very
to-
player knowledge, not my character wouldn't know this, but I have figured
Okay.
out part of this.
My thought would be like, would it fit somehow over
The city.
the city map? But no. Okay. But there would be somewhere where it would fit. Oh, cubes. How many cubes are in there?
Yes.
There are 9?
9
Yeah.
tiles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for the 9
Yeah.
cubes of whatever.
But where are we? Which is this?
Can we say my player has, or my character has figured out what my player knows?
Would your character have figured out what you're
Hey,
playing?
I mean, not really,
Just
but
let me know.
Very, very difficult puzzle.
The riddle part, I think,
Yeah.
it does, Ion Energy. It's the trying to figure out where the.
That was to find
So
the
to find the tunnel.
To find the
mosaics.
tunnel. Okay, but I don't know. But see, like, Bright knows the figures are there,
The figures are there,
so
and there's the cubes.
9 cubes. But
How does this?
they're not
grid
cubes right now.
They're not cubes right now.
No, because they're just tiles right now.
Yeah, but they're obviously representative of the cubes.
Yeah,
But we have to figure out like where
Where to
that
put 'em.
plays in.
Yeah.
it's either where you put them or maybe the location where they are.
Secrets don't make friends.
But it doesn't fit over the top of that. What other information do we have available?
We don't have any.
You're right. It's a puzzle. It needs to be solved. Sorry, guys. I'm back.
Okay.
Welcome.
What have you guys come up with? Anything?
9 tiles, 9 cubes.
Yeah,
What's
so we know that
the-
it's.
Okay.
the tile thing on the wall, what's it made of?
It's just tile.
Alright, so it's just like a plaque.
Ceramic or something?
Yeah, it's like maybe, it's kind of like, it's not porcelain tiles, but it's just tiles that have been stuck out on the wall.
I'm gonna go up and poke it
Okay.
Where?
Where?
on the tile.
On one of the dark tiles.
The dark tile.
Hey, let me
Give
hold
me
you
anything.
up so you can
Um,
Yeah, I just like have him lift me up.
I'm holding you up like a kid.
My feet just dangle.
Can I? Bright's gonna identify one of the dark tiles.
Okay.
Guess they might identify.
Yeah. So she's just gonna cast identify on one of the tiles.
It's a tile.
Okay.
It's
That's
a tile.
Okay.
Pull that into better strike.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I get a history check.
I could send Hemorrhoid to see if there's something that looks like this somewhere nearby.
That may not be a bad idea.
I don't completely know what I'm looking for, but perhaps.
Perhaps.
Oh, look, these
I
are.
was trying to place that.
Yeah.
This is a map showing where.
Okay. Okay. So. I'm gonna send Hemorrhoid scouting.
Okay.
We're just stuck in this tiny room, like.
Yeah.
What do we do?
Yeah, I'm gonna send him scouting every place within range of possibility, and
Okay.
see if he can find anything that would be relevant to this. Anything.
Okay. So he'll go skittering around, and I'll let you know what he finds.
Can
Okay.
you
In a
just
second.
exit the room? Just like
Mhm.
I'll just
Yeah.
exit the room.
When I was looking over the city the other day, did I see any other buildings in the city that resemble, in terms of architecture or like design, this building? Other buildings that might look like there are other shrines.
You really don't have any sort of basis to know, because to you they all kind of look alike.
I mean, there's nothing on the map particularly that looks
Yes.
the same,
Mm,
other than having
So
the reddish roof.
after I exit the room,
Mm-hmm.
can I check all the other statues for their shadows and see what else there is?
Okay.
Think maybe there's more than one room, maybe.
All right. So how are you going to do that?
Like with the bat, just look behind him.
it wasn't there till I walked over, right?
Yeah.
Until the light was there to cast the shadow.
Okay.
You've come out. You actually can't see the crawl space that you just came out of.
Even if I go back to it,
And you can feel it. You just
Okay.
can't see it.
I have a. Actually.
Just go feel for crawl spaces.
Yeah. I can feel for crawl spaces.
Roll
Okay.
for crawl spaces.
Make me an investigation check.
12.
You don't find any. You do see Sploof's rat wandering around, sort of poking into places too. Sploof, Hemorrhoid is not finding anything either,
Even outside the temple.
even outside the temple.
That sounds like a good way to get eaten by a crocodile.
Just keep into the
Is there
edges.
anything on the ceiling?
Don't.
Or is it just ceiling?
No.
I want 6 figures. 1 pedestal.
Figure one
So
pedestal.
Bright,
Yes.
what do you know about these 9 cubes that we're maybe looking for?
All I know is that it could have something to do with the Death Curse movie.
Do you still have your sword out?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's probably most of our light in there.
And my arm.
Right.
Right. Okay.
I don't know a lot. I know that there were figures, animals, but people.
Where's the rubbing?
Hmm?
Where's the rubbing?
I would have it with me, I assume.
Okay.
But yeah, that's. I just have a feeling that these cubes are important somehow.
So Keith, I'm going to unsummon my sword and start moving down the crawl space. Come back out.
You attempt to dismiss your sword. It
Oh,
doesn't
dear.
go away.
Oh dear.
Oh.
Oh, that's awkward.
Can you just put it down?
Can
and
you
then-
just put your sword
Yeah,
away?
yeah, I'm gonna put it down and try and walk away from it.
You put it down, and it's still clinging to your hand. And as you take your hand away, you feel a light tug towards Sploof.
Stab, split.
The price of my
I
health.
just like cling to Bright. Like,
What is he doing?
I'm gonna move
I think
towards
it's his sword.
Sploof with my sword in my hand
So
like a
this-
dowsing rod.
You gotta
It
poke
starts
Sploof with your
pointing
sword.
right at the center of Sploof, where he's holding the rubbing.
Bright graph.
And it goes with Bright with the rubbing.
Right, and the rubbing is the same riddle.
It's the riddle.
So, could you read it?
Yeah, what was the riddle again?
Hold on, I have it right here.
Comes with sunshine, leaves with night, hides in darkness, does not bite, always joined to its caster, never strays from its master.
It's gotta be
Are you
shadow.
sure it's not your sword?
Cast a shadow.
it has to like shadow makes sense.
I'm going to.
Could it be your sword?
Light a torch.
Okay. You've got a torch lit.
Oh man, there's so much smoke in here now.
Anything changed? I'm gonna look for any weird shadows.
Wait,
Okay, would you please leave? It's getting really smoky
What?
in here.
Put out the torch.
Okay.
No, please leave.
what if we douse the light?
Yes, he is the light.
Oh,
I'm saying please.
Oh,
Please
okay,
leave
yeah,
out.
okay, so I'll leave.
You turn,
That's what I was thinking earlier, till my sword wouldn't go away.
so you turn to go, and the sword doesn't leave.
I think you have to kill Spoof.
Ah!
I'm kidding.
Alright, so because Gideon is losing his patience, in front of all of them, he's just gonna be like, oh, okay, what? What do you want?
Gideon.
It's gonna take a jab at the rubbing, and then a jab at the wall.
It wants us to take a rubbing on the wall.
Wait.
Jab at the rubbing, jab at the wall.
Cast
Oh,
a shadow
it
on
works?
the wall.
Guess what?
Put the
I'll
rubbing
try
on
and
the wall.
cast a shadow on the. Nope, okay, I didn't think so.
the rubbing
I'm
on
gonna
the wall
put
and
the
see-
rubbing against.
Which letters and words are
It's,
missing?
they're not the same size.
Yeah, can I put it just against one of the tiles?
Well, you can, but it's
Okay.
the rubbing's not gonna cover the whole.
Yeah.
Second.
How many letters
One.
are there? 1, 2.
Rubbing and
Wait. Okay.
How many letters?
If your sword persists for
Okay.
more than 4 hours, see a cleric.
If we put the rubbing in front of the sword, and then point the
Cast
sword
a
toward the
shadow
wall.
onto the wall.
I guess we can try that.
Oh, can we like put the light through the paper?
Yeah.
I'm sure we can.
To cast a shadow
Yeah,
on the wall.
that's. We
and
should
I
try
assume
that.
nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Okay, nothing happens. Okay.
I gotta go back to it and reread. Okay. What is this? Like, that seems obviously shadow, but.
Bring the spider in, because the spider's name's Sunshine.
It all makes sense.
That's what Chip was next at.
The shadow can't hurt you. It's the thing that casts it that can. So that is logical to me.
Keep up.
What'd you do?
I have to pee.
Not with the rubbing, but you're on the right track.
Are the no, because they're just different colored tiles, right?
Yeah, they're just darker.
I guess I'm gonna take Gideon's arm and kind of like just guide it over the whole wall and see if there's any strange out of place shadow.
What was your idea there, Clara?
I don't remember.
Last I heard come from out of you was bring the spider in here, but I'm not sure
No,
that's the
before
answer.
that. Before that.
Yeah, before that.
Because
So it's
Feather?
casting a...
Spider is
Feather.
sunshine.
Taking a
What did you
rubbing on
say?
the wall.
No, you said something about a feather.
Oh, I don't think it's a feather.
No.
Do you still have the feather?
we can
Yes.
try.
Try doing things with the feather. Like touching...
How about you do the things with the
Okay,
feather?
I'll take the feather and I'll
I
touch...
looked like an idiot last time.
I will touch all the dark tiles on the wall with the feather. Nothing? Okay.
No, I would like to... Can you take the rubbing out of the room, please?
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
You feel a tap on your shoulder.
Goodness, we need a lot of help.
yes, we do. We suck at this apparently.
And it's Catboard.
Okay.
Count the letters.
I was trying that.
Oh,
but
yeah,
the letters
yeah.
don't match.
Yeah, it's
Count
not
the
working.
letters.
Did you count the
Okay.
spaces?
C-O... The spaces.
Yeah, C-O.
Yeah.
Freak. I'm gonna have to write it down.
Wait.
Where's the
Oh.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to do that, but it didn't match up.
Maybe you have to rearrange the letters.
Count the letters. Okay.
Well, because it would be C-O... M-E-S... W-I...
space?
No, not yet, but I'm gonna try it again. SUN
Oh.
Sure.
SHIE LEABE.
I'll respond to chat in a moment. Phones are being used for puzzle purposes.
For puzzle purposes.
Yeah, it doesn't match up.
COS.
COS.
Yes.
I don't know if this is going anywhere,
Yeah,
but
you go for it. We don't have any better ideas.
DM is sitting back there going, man, they're derpy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, closing.
what is it? Yeah, what is that supposed to look like?
Cosin or cosin.
Cosine. Yes, we're getting somewhere.
But more math.
No!
We're so bad at
Hang on,
math.
I'm not sure if that
We're
was...
at it, man.
What did you get?
Hang on, it's not making any sense. So give me a sec. Almost yank. Oh, that might be why.
Oh, that might be why.
Oh.
This silence brought to you by D&D Beyond.
Your content could be here.
So they're working out the puzzle.
If you want to talk to them,
If you
that's
guys have any particular ideas that we can help these guys out with, I think they're on the right track now.
Chuba's next mentioned Sunshine and Nyx.
I feel like it, like, cause
Because it's so small, they're back in the main room.
Yeah.
She's watching over Azaka, who still has not come to
oh,
yet.
she had mentioned a thing with them in the puzzle, but I don't think that's.
Nyx meaning night.
Yeah.
Sunshine as sunshine.
I mean,
Yeah,
That's.
hasn't really been a part of it.
No.
How's it going there, Lance? Are you actually making words?
Not exactly, but I have a couple different ideas of maybe how this works.
Okay.
Like, should I count spaces or not count spaces?
That's what I was wondering, yeah.
Sorry, Chipper.
Does Chipper already know what we're
No,
supposed to do?
she's saying don't kill her dreams. Sorry.
Oh.
We love your dreams.
We love your
Chipper.
dreams. We love your drawings.
Yeah.
You're awesome. I saw, by the way, the graphic you were working on for our catchphrase.
Yes.
I love it. Thank you.
I feel like we have legitimate fans, and it's amazing.
I'm so anxious to be able to share that with the rest of the party.
it doesn't work.
I'm still gonna do a coffee table book someday.
Was also
I feel
saying
utterly
I'm
useless
really
right now.
6 here.
Right, but I
So-
think it's just the number of spaces from left to right would make sense to me.
Hey DM, can I borrow your book so I can be sorting through things too?
Sure.
I won't look ahead, I promise. I just want that page.
It could be just a weird thing.
Thank you.
There you
Okay.
go.
So,
Freaking count. No, because there's going to be more
None of us
spaces
know how
than
to count.
So when the puzzle is too hard,
Apparently.
Or we all just have lots of different ideas about how puzzles work.
right?
Yeah. Or both.
Cosinions.
Both is
I
good.
think it's scrambled if it's a word from what I'm doing.
Probably.
It's oriented the same way, right? On the wall it's long and
Mhm.
short. Okay.
Yep.
So
Oh, Zion Energy gave you guys an actual number count
Oh, of letters?
of letters.
Letters.
Yeah.
Oh.
She already got it?
5, 4, 8, 6, 4, 5, 5,
Okay, I got
2.
lost. We got lost in numbers.
2, 8, 4, 3. Where's
That'd be their
count?
Ah, okay. My plan wasn't working. I miscounted.
So it's just straightforward as far as that goes. Okay. Oh crap! Where's my pencil? There it is.
Have you tried it with spaces?
What have you guys got so far?
Without spaces, like it is the right number.
It's total letters is right. Without
Total
spaces.
letters is total tiles
Yeah.
without spaces. So
Type CO.
What if it's a line and letter?
That's what I was trying.
Yeah.
The lines don't match.
Yeah.
Is it backwards?
fine.
I hate counting. Well, okay, wait, I don't have to though. 'cause
Is it backwards?
15, right? 1, 2, 3.
You want to try it backwards?
You can try it backwards. So instead of
15,
CO,
RE.
try
Okay,
RE.
so I don't have to
So it's
count.
15 across.
Yeah, it's 15 across.
15 by 7. In that case.
Okay, so 15 would be 1 I.
Thank you.
Star. So that's R.
Oh, wait. 16, 15.
So what you got there, Spoof?
Cover. Let's cover.
Cover. Dark.
RE.
I think they've got it though. They're actually making words.
Not. Size.
61.
So that's E. All.
What was the last letter?
Ears. Is it gonna be cover ears?
Cover ears of what?
Just a second. I'm working on it.
We're
EA.
Okay, so with that
Crap.
makes
Where did we leave off?
A.
Dang it. Here, we can work
Wait,
backwards.
wait, wait, no. Oh yeah, you can work.
R-E-T-S. I think it's gonna end up being cover ears.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. The handout on paper would have made this a lot easier because we could have just written letters
Yeah, I
over
know.
the tiles.
Again, wasn't expecting you guys to get this far. Wasn't prepared for it. So clearly, I'm gonna go print out all the
17.
handouts now.
So,
That-
17 from S.
oh, 17 from S.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
Yeah,
backwards.
yeah.
5, 6,
Or
7,
it's not backwards or forwards of whatever this
I think Spoof is on
of
to
whatever idea we're coming up with.
Or
I might have
16, I guess.
miscounted.
Yeah. So R.
It
should
says cover ears. Maybe it doesn't say cover ears.
It's the most right thing we've gotten so far. Well, the most thing we've gotten. That's the most.
My favorite look on my DM's face when I'm like, oh, the answer to the puzzle is clearly this, and he's like,
Is it wrong?
Was I on the wrong page?
No, you were on the right page.
Oh,
be the right page.
I think he just wants you to finish.
did you forget what the answer was, or
I'm just making sure.
Okay.
Okay, cover.
was that
ears.
right? I guess you don't know. So Sploof is just gonna.
Did you say that out loud?
Nothing happens.
Well, it said cover ears, but I guess I must have misinterpreted.
Is that the whole thing?
That's all of these, yeah.
So what if we cover
Well,
the
keep-
ears
keep
of
going.
all of the
Yeah, keep going.
statues?
I'm gonna go
Wait.
out
Wait. No.
On the statues,
and
maybe.
cover the bat's ears.
Nothing happens.
Okay. I didn't think it would.
But what if we tried covering all of the ears?
Maybe.
We could
Lots
try.
of have you.
I mean,
Let's finish what you've got.
I think that was it, unless I just miscounted. Okay.
Yeah. Did we get all
Is
of
this
them?
not yours?
No, wait.
18
Oh, that's
S.
right.
maybe
So that's
it's
S.
anagram.
And then we've got
Maybe.
1, 2, 3, 4,
I'm just gonna try
5,
covering the
6,
ears of
7,
all of them
8, 9,
real quick.
10, 11,
First
Nothing
12,
happens.
13, 14, 15, 16. No, you were right on 17. Okay, so
Oh, okay.
so from
I was-
S, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
So it's
6,
E.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
So it's E.
Cover E's? Cover. Maybe I miscounted somewhere else.
Maybe.
Yes!
Yes.
So definitely these.
CO.
C
And then
O.
that's 15, 16, 17, 18.
Nothing happens.
Whose eyes?
Yeah, maybe
What if
I
I cover one of the statue's eyes?
botched that too.
Nothing happens.
A.
Did I miss something?
What if I
Or did I
cover
get-
my eyes
An E makes more
and
sense than an A.
touch the pedestal?
You get
Nothing
slapped.
happens.
Okay. So we've got
Although
1, 2.
Nyx is standing there
1, 2.
watching you as you're doing all
So
this.
that's for sure right.
What the hell?
Yep, that's my wife.
These two are right. Or at least as far as where I'm supposed to be
We've
going.
got to cover
with it.
15.
Okay.
So from here, well, from here to here is
So what are the statues again, real
7,
quick?
8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
And
Sorry.
it's in the book.
14,
I don't
15,
remember.
16, 17,
Lizard,
18,
Lizard,
19.
Lizard,
Like
jackal,
from
lobster,
the
lobster.
Yeah, so that would be V.
Toucan.
Toucan.
Okay,
bat.
so I got that one right.
and
Alright, now
the
count up the
frog.
next step. I'll
Frog,
keep
yeah.
my thing here
Yes.
on the V.
Okay. So this is V.
Yes.
1, 2,
It's
3,
15.
4, 5, 6.
It's 15.
Okay, I'm
One
gonna.
of the
Yeah, it's
So
15.
15.
So we gotta
1,
find a
2,
key to
3,
open the thing.
4,
From what I can tell, we
5,
need
6,
something
7,
with
8,
that.
9,
Where's the,
10,
marker?
11,
12,
13,
13, 14,
15.
15. So E is right.
Oh, you want to?
So then
Yeah,
we've got
so
from
down.
there 1,
We
2,
need to
3,
cut-
4,
if it's one of the
5, 6.
statues.
Lizard.
1, 2, 3,
Jaguar.
4, 5, 6.
Cover. Okay. So that's right so far.
Lobster.
And then we've got
Yeah.
1, 2,
There
3,
you go.
16.
Lobster.
16.
No, toucan.
1, 2, 3,
Yeah, toucan here.
5,
Yeah.
6,
Bat.
7, 8, 9, 10,
Bat.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
E is right. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Cover eyes! Eyes!
Eyes.
Cover eyes!
But whose eyes?
I just cover my eyes!
Nothing happens, Sleuth.
Oh, wait.
I'm gonna take that back.
Okay.
Cover ears. Cover whatever. Cover everything you got.
Can we
I'm
get everyone
pretty
in
sure
here?
it didn't say that.
Can we get everyone
but
in here to try and cover
Yeah,
up
sure.
each statue's eyes?
Yes.
If you guys
Dear
do that, I'll
Lord,
wait-
that
I'll
was
wait by the
ridiculous.
pedestal, so.
Sure. We cover all
Sure.
the eyes.
Nyx,
Statues.
can you
Yeah.
put a piece of cloth over all of the eyes?
And she runs around.
Wow. Nyx
And-
just became weirdly masculine and quite
So
like
she runs
boisterous.
around and I need a leg up.
You have a
spider.
Oh. Come here. She climbs up on the spider and she runs around tying bits of blue cloth, all various shades of blue,
If this is I'm gonna be mad.
across the eyes of each of the statues. When she finishes tying the last one on the last statue, you hear the sound of stone grinding on stone. The hatch opens up and a stone cube pops out.
Yes.
I think that needs to go in the bag.
Yes.
Well, do
I will,
do we even know what these things are?
No, but
No,
I don't want
but they're
anyone to see us
important.
with it.
It's okay. I'll put it in my bag of holding.
I'll pick up the
Extra
cube and
dimensionally.
I'll pick up the cube and hand it to Bright to put in the bag, I
Game
guess.
over, guys.
Okay.
1 down, 8 to go.
Yep.
Congratulations,
Eight to go.
you have retrieved the
One-
first cube.
One cube.
We have
Okay,
to find
there's 8 more,
9
you
of
guys.
them.
We have no idea what this does.
Oh my gosh.
No idea.
And I
wait.
think that's where we'll go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna identify it, but I can do it later.
Okay.
We can do it next game.
We'll do that later.
Yeah.
We'll call it a night here for the evening, and we will see you guys on our next adventure next week. Probably next week on Tuesday. Same time. Our new time, 6 o'clock Mountain Time. We have shifted that because of work schedules and whatnot, but we are still on Tuesday nights, 6 o'clock Mountain Time. So very happy to see you and have you with us. Thank you for joining us.
Hopefully we'll be better
We
puzzle solvers.
will
Yeah,
have-
hopefully we'll
We
do
will
better.
have better
can
handouts
count.
for the party
think
next
that's the
time. Sorry,
longest puzzle
and
puzzle's ever taken in this
hopefully
game.
it won't take quite as long to get through some of the rest of what lies in store for them. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for dropping in, and do hit us up on YouTube. Our YouTube channel there should give you all of the back episodes of the Glassbreakers Guild. I know it's kind of long to sit through 2.5, 3 hour episodes, especially since there are now 25 of them up there. So we're also going to be starting up with our recaps. Those will be 5 to 10
Yep.
minutes. That
One of these days.
ignore them. They'll be 5 to 10 minutes, little chunks to get you caught up on where we are so far. So check us out there. We have our Discord channel also that is up. We've got some cool stuff going on. Griffin or Bright Kyrie is
All these names.
she's all
Yeah.
of these things.
Oh, I am.
She's so many things.
I am a lot. Of
She
things.
is a creative streamer and
Yeah.
does her creative streams on there. You'll find announcements about that and
Yes.
sort of an idea of what she does. Danny, sitting directly across from me, who plays Sploof, also does creative streaming. She's got information there for her stuff. Down at the very bottom, we've got
Dropped another thing earlier,
our
I'll have to fetch.
in-character tavern. So any character, any system, doesn't matter. They can come in there and have
Sort things
in-character
out.
interactions. It's kind of a cool idea. We like it anyway. We're
Yeah.
having a lot of fun with it.
I haven't been able to be as active in there. We do have guests right now. I will be better about that once it's back to
It's
just
okay.
us. So, huh?
I've been in there. It's
Oh,
okay.
awesome!
So,
Yeah.
Thank
so
you.
yeah, so that's one of the things
As
we're
talks
doing.
amongst yourselves.
We've got
Right.
some other series that go onto YouTube and that we stream here as well. One of them is Cover Your Assets, where we create custom content for D&D 5th edition. Got future episodes of that coming up as well. Probably not this week. Maybe next week, might be the week after that. We'll let you guys know by all of the various ways that we can let you guys know what's going on.
Also, I'm gonna throw out there. I'm not gonna be able to shout out all of them. I will shout out Chipper because I know that she's still here. Check out a lot of our different viewers because they're pretty great. I know Poser does a karaoke stream frequently.
He also does retro games.
He does retro games every now and then too. So Poser's a great one to watch. I am gonna throw a shout out to Chipper. She does art streams. Any of the rest of you who are streamers, speak up.
Yeah, feel free. Absolutely, we're
Yeah.
here to help promote
Self-promotion.
all of us because shameless self-promotion, cross-promotion. We got to stand together, solidarity, all of that good kind of stuff.
Yes, and I might have forgotten that some of you are streamers and would like
Ventress
to.
and Ed Villain.
Yeah, Ventress is. I threw him a shout out earlier. Ed is a freaking awesome, just human being. So he's a great person to follow. I always kind of forget how everybody spells their actual name to be able to shout them out when they're not actually actively in chat. So just check out everybody as they come through and see what they're up to if they stream, because we've found some really great streamers
Yeah.
just through our own people that are watching. So thank you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for so much for being here with us. You guys are what makes the stream, a stream. We would be getting together playing anyway. We're just glad to have you guys along and hopefully entertain you guys a little bit these Tuesday nights. Thank you so much for being here. We will see you next week. And don't forget, if you have a hammer, everything is a glass house. Good night, everybody.
Bring it